We're
he has an
going
alligator
live.
in there. And so he told me, don't go in there. The alligator's in there.
Yeah. No, it's like there's it really is surprising to find out like how a lot of states, like, it's not illegal to own animals you should have no business.
Yeah. Well,
having.
Right. And the thing was, it's like, so he gave up the saltwater tank just for an alligator. Like, screw it. The saltwater tank is this is no bueno. I'm gonna get an alligator.
That's definitely an improvement.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm like, there's an alligator in that room. I'm sure that didn't come with the house, right? No.
I mean, there's a video. Well, there's like a mini documentary on YouTube about this woman who she owned a chimpanzee, and her neighbor, I guess like a friend of hers, would always come over and they hang out and whatnot. And the neighbor decided, I guess, she was going to get her hair done. And for some reason, because she was different, it was like different. The chimpanzee freaked out and attacked her and tore her face right off.
Yeah, I know this story.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they said it happened within seconds.
Yeah, did they put the animal down after?
I don't think so, because believe it or not, I don't know. I mean, I know years ago I had read this. It's actually you actually cannot euthanize a chimpanzee.
Huh.
Yeah, because I guess it's like ethical, moral dilemmas, like owning them in your house isn't an ethical.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, obviously, I have seen that woman, what she looks like after the attack, but it's like it's an animal that's supposed to be in the jungle.
Yeah, exactly.
Into domestic environment. What do you expect?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's like a lot of, it's like people who own tigers. And then, even the whole thing that happened with Siegfried and Roy, it was like, it's like, there comes that moment when the tiger remembers that it's a tiger and not a coworker.
They say, the tiger went crazy. That tiger didn't go crazy.
The tiger did not go crazy.
The tiger was crazy when he was riding bicycles around the stage in a tutu.
Yeah, exactly.
That thing is crazy. Now Tiger decided he was gonna go tiger.
Yeah.
However, this conversation, you can switch out all those words and put 10-year-old child in there.
Well then, yes.
Because I'm over 10-year-old children.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Breakfast Buzz, your happy place for coffee and comics.
Wait until your 10-year-old turns into a 14-year-old. Those are fun times.
I'm saving up for a nice boarding school in the UK. I'm gonna send them to. I don't even want them on the same continent as me at that point.
Right. New England. New England's fine.
Yeah.
Come out there to Maine, and
That's true.
Yeah. Trico says, are we talking about things that are illegal to do with chimpanzees? I'm still banned from zoos and circuses.
Well,
from the desk of a small press publisher.
You and all the furries.
Yeah.
Jake's in the house. Empyrean Vol's in the house. Hail, Indy Volters. Hail, Empyrean Vol. Hope you're doing well.
Give me a second here.
Looking forward to seeing more roughs from Empyrean on a project he's working on for me. Can't wait.
Yeah, there's so many good comments, and so many good comments coming down the pike that I've seen from people. I'm excited for it, but the money, man, money's getting tight around here.
Money's tight everywhere.
Money's always tight.
Yeah. And not in the good way.
Yeah, because people are going up on perks. They're like, oh yes, my beginning tier, my cheapest tier is $85.
Wow, who's doing that?
Oh, I've seen a couple of them.
We'll see how their campaigns go, and then they're going to sit back and complain that the big hump in indie crowdfunding has definitely gone over the edge. So we're on the downswing now because he's asking for an $85 tier.
Yeah, I mean
as a starter. Yeah,
it's like that's crazy. I mean, it's like I understand that crowdfunding in general. I mean, it's like we're talking about a premium service, but I mean that's kind of like when that's your first tier. I mean, that's like, unless it's like, what is that, a trade? I mean, even for a trade, it's like that's ridiculous. It's like who's going to afford that? That's the first thing that knocks me out of a campaign. That it's like, what? No, like I think my threshold is like $45. Once it's above $45, it's like, nah, you're too expensive.
I was a fool.
Russell is in the house. Russell,
good morning. Good morning.
45 as high as a minimum amount, or like
as that's as high. That's as high as I'll go for a basic bundle.
Okay.
Right,
and that's with the shipping.
Oh, with the shipping. All right.
Yeah, that's with the shipping, because it's like it just gets too much.
Yeah. See,
Joe's got his tea. What have we got on tap?
Yeah.
It's too early to be drinking here in the States, Joe.
Your boy done went 235 in.
I've only become aware like recently that people were doing this. The only other amount I've seen beside $25 is the most common tier or minimum, the smallest perk was even less than that, 20 or 15. I've never encountered anything higher than that as a basic tier.
We better hit the intro, Randy. People are getting restless.
Why can't I see you all? They're
beginning to fight in the chat.
Oh, it's like that's a problem. Yeah. That's the coffee turning.
They want in
this morning. Good morning. That coffee cup is going to overflow soon.
It is, Pat. It is.
It's never ending. It's never ending.
Yeah.
It's never ending. One cup is not enough today. Says Pops. That's very true. We're gonna roll the opening and then get going.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, let me see where we at. There we are. I got it.
You bunch of losers! You're working with a professional here!
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
Good. Love it.
That's the mood for the morning.
Yeah. It's we have to wake ourselves up around here.
I'm binge watching the Star Wars stuff right now. We're in episode 3 of the Clone Wars, and I already can tell Clone Wars is better than what I have seen so far in terms of movies.
Well, yeah. There's a lot more world building and
you're only 3 episodes in.
Yeah, maybe 4 or 5, something like that.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot coming.
It gets so much better.
Yeah.
When you get towards the end, you're just going. You're going to be binging. Boom, 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 straight through it. There's 2-parters and 3-parters and stuff going on that you're sitting there going, "This is a cartoon, right?"
Yeah.
Did they show this on? No.
Unfortunately, I'm a bit of an asshole because I like to watch reactions. So I have seen one scene from what's most likely the final episode, a certain fight. I'm not gonna say what it is. Maybe a fraction of it. I think it might be Rebels actually. Because that's not right. If that's not supposed to happen before Revenge of the Sith, so it's got to be Rebels.
Yeah.
And I've seen, of course, the scene from the Mandalorian season 2 finale, and that made me so hungry to actually go back and watch Star Wars, because I've only watched the prequels once. The originals once.
I'm sorry.
Well, I have to be honest. When I watched the prequels, I did not appreciate them because I'm a visual being, as I'm sure a lot of us are in comic books, and the poor visual that they could afford back then.
Yeah,
that puts you off a little bit.
Well, it doesn't age at all.
Yeah. But now I'm willing to watch it again. Accepting that it's a piece of historic
lore,
artistry, and with the cheese that may come with it, and I will appreciate it, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I was forced to go see all the prequels by a friend of mine. Hello, everybody. My name is Varian Grant. I'm the founder of Indie Volt Media LLC. Started making comics back in 2008. Wow, that seems so long ago now. When I was young and youthful. And, now I'm old and cantankerous. I don't want to be here.
We're all short and bent.
Yeah. I'm also one of the co-founders of Last Call Comics, founder of Liberty Entertainment Distribution Group, one of the founding 5 of Terraform Comics, as well as what else am I? Well, anything else?
That's fine. Where else are you?
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, my father, husband, a geek. That's Liberty. Reluctant taxpayer, and that is it.
Most charming yet humble. Oh no, that's somebody else.
You mentioned your TV. You mentioned your distribution. You mentioned the radio. You mentioned the website.
Yeah, I mentioned we got
Last Call.
Yeah, we got the Indie Vote Awards.
He's the Ted Turner of comics.
Am I the Indie Princess this week? Am I?
No.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Then that's all for me. I'm joined this morning by Randy Zim. Hi, Randy.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? I'm Randy Zimmerman, and I started watching Star Wars in order after I watched Rogue One, because I said the whole run can't be that bad, can it? And I sat there and watched it. Clone Wars and Rebels just blow everything out of the water. I'm telling you, you have to watch them in order. And what?
Are you seen Star Wars? You've seen Star Wars in theaters?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Daphne, you too?
I saw
the first.
I saw Star Wars.
Brand spanking new. Yes.
I was one of those guys that went every chance they had because I was just so blown away by the visuals. I'm sitting there just stunned. It's my senior year in high school. That's when it came out.
The original movies.
The original movie, yeah. I remember waiting in line at Eastland Mall here in Flint to get in because they said it was a great popcorn movie. So I bought a big tub of popcorn.
Wow.
I went and I sat, and when the first ship goes overhead, just stunned. Everybody in the audience was just freaking. And then when the Death Star blew up, the guy behind me jolted me out of the movie because he sprung out of his chair, hit the back of my seat, and was going, yeah. when the Death Star blew up, and I looked down and I saw I had a whole tub of popcorn sitting there between my legs. I hadn't even touched because I was like stunned at the screen.
Daphne, you remember seeing it in the theaters too?
Yes. Although what's funny is like I might have been a little too young to remember Star Wars, but I remember Empire Strikes Back. Definitely remember.
I saw Empire Strikes Back at Flint Cinema, which was the best theater in the area for sound and stuff. Just
it's probably why Empire is my favorite. Probably because it's the first one I really remember.
Your story, Daphne, has a lot like my mother-in-law's. Because she's like, I remember seeing it in the theaters, but I was way too young. I don't know how old I was. I'm like, wow, my mother-in-law can't remember Star Wars. She was a baby.
Right. Well, you see, the thing is too is that also what was funny is that what I do remember of the original Star Wars is that my father used to have a reel-to-reel projector, and back then they would sell the clips of the movie on reel-to-reel
8mm probably.
Yeah. So it's like, so we would be watching like the same 5-minute clips over and over and over again.
Wow, that's cool.
on reel-to-reel. Yeah.
And they never released the whole movie. They just did like clips.
No,
right?
it was literally like a 5-minute clip.
As much movie as you could get on a spool that big.
Yeah.
You know, actually, when Randy, when you said, about the ship going over, you made me think, and I could be wrong. You guys tell me what you think about this. That Star Wars would actually make a great 3D movie. What would you think about that?
Probably, yeah. I don't know how they would translate. They'd have to be careful because a lot of that stuff, once you go into 3D, is really going to look like a model.
Yeah. That's the funny thing about it. That was one thing that Stan Winston talked about when they were doing Jurassic Park, because Spielberg had wanted to do the entire thing in 3D, and all the dinosaurs, and Stan Winston was like, no, it's not going to work. You know, it's like you need the combination of models to kind of like make that illusion work. 3D is not going to cut it. In fact, I think like the Velociraptor scene in the kitchen, I think is the only one that's fully, the dinosaurs are fully CG. But everything else is all puppets. And that movie still holds up because of that. Yeah. So you really, Well,
and there's a lot to be said for practical effects too, because all 3, 4, 5, and 6 really hold together incredibly well for the time that they were made.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Randy, I cut your intro off. Though. You finished?
No, I can say I'm an independent alternative comics creator, editor-in-chief of Arrow Comics. I've been doing everything in the comic market that you can imagine at one point or another for quite a while, and for many, many decades. So. Right now, outside of Arrow Comics, I do a lot of commercial work, a lot of sequential work for advertising and education. So,
fantastic.
Done a lot of stuff.
And Miss Daphne.
Hello, good morning. Yes, my name is Daphne Lage, and I am a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist out of New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and yes, I did see Star Wars originally in the theater. I am known for the funny animal fantasy, Tall Tales, which I have right here, my lovely baby right here, and my medieval drama, Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which finished a rather surprisingly successful Kickstarter run that I am now in the process of packing over 100 orders for that. So thank you all very much for that. You can read both my comics at Tall Tales Online, that's TAILS, and egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, and you can watch videos on how I make both of these comics on YouTube at Daphne Lage, LAGE Art.
And our guest for today, I'm going to say his name because he's taught me how to say it, but my lazy American tongue will not allow me to say it. Alejandro.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, Alejandro. Yeah, Alejandro. Alejandro is quite Spanish, but as an Italian, Alejandro is probably more fitting. Yeah. But you guys can just call me Alex. Alex for the friends.
Alex?
Call me Al. Call me Al.
It's funny, Alex. You look like you look a lot like my brother-in-law in like the best timeline. Because I'm convinced the one I have is like in the worst timeline. I'm curious, like he's like that's like there's been a series of unfortunate incidents. But
wow!
Thanks, it's pretty cool. In the chat though, we got a lot of people. Let's see. Eric Hawkins says, I believe the kitchen scene is a mixture of CG and model dinosaurs. They were quite proud that it was about impossible to see the difference.
Yeah, no, that was As the kids like to say, that movie slaps.
Yeah. Alejandro, you got a book, you got a project. We're going to talk about that. But go ahead, talk us about yourself. Where you're from, how you're in the. Yeah, but
I'm gonna lead with the fact that my first Star Wars movie that I've watched, first and only movie that I've watched at the theater, unfortunately, is the worst movie ever made, The Last Jedi.
Oh, sorry. We're sorry about that. We're sorry.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you, there's a couple. There's a couple. Just one cool scene, the throne room fight.
Yeah,
I just love that scene. Yeah. And I'm a big Kylo Ren fan. I really like his lightsaber. But anyway, I am the writer and creator of Columns of Creation, which is a modern fantasy comic book that we will talk about today a bit. And I'm Italian from Sicily, where the Etna volcano is erupting right now with all of its passion. I do like to think that I am the living embodiment of the Etna. A lot of Sicilians are. I think the eruptive nature of our land really feeds into how we behave. And and I live in the United Kingdom since 2013. I'm a student and I work. And at the same time, I try to, I'm trying to take flight with my creator-owned projects. So that's me.
Cool. Varian's gone. All right.
Oh, okay.
So all right. I guess we continue on.
Okay.
All right.
So I can share that right now, actually. That's why I was being quiet.
All right.
Boom. Look at this artwork here.
Wow.
What are we looking at, Alex?
So what we're looking at here is a section of the cover. And if you want me to, I can share my screen actually in a bit, because then I can, show you literally everything that there is to see
Paradox Trading
smoothly.
Cards.
So this is the pre-launch page of Columns Creation Volume 1, Down to Earth. It's, like I said, modern fantasy tale in the Sandman sort of fashion. Sandman, the Fables, and those kind of Vertigo titles. And the premise is the columns of creation are the elements of nature, embodied elements of nature. In my story, they're cosmic beings. They come from outer space. And they come to our world after eons spent in creating things in space, seeking a more fulfilling life. So they disguise themselves as human beings. And exciting stuff happens. How are they going to infiltrate our world without, money or documents? And they have chosen not to create anything. So they're going to have to overcome those obstacles using their wits. But their journey will be interrupted in such an abrupt manner that you have no idea by that blue guy we saw up there earlier on, Paradox, who is the embodiment of black holes. He's the villain of our story. And when you sign up to this pre-launch page, you get a trading card of him with purchase, of course, and you get a trading card of that character. There will be other trading cards as part of the campaign, so you want to make sure that you sign up to the pre-launch page, because let's say that we unlock the stretch goals and you get the perk that will include one of the trading cards. If you haven't signed up to this pre-launch page, you still will miss one card. So make sure you do it, because it's free and you would be helping out, a young indie creator. I'm only 25 years old and I need all the help I can get.
Baby.
All right. There's a kid on Open Mic Monday who's always saying, help the kid out. So I think that goes for me too. And yeah, so if you scroll a little bit down, Randy, if you stop right there, a little higher, yeah. So the team is, the artist's name is Mattia Monaco. The colorist's name is Carlos Moreno. He does a great job. And since yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, I am announcing this now for the first time, except for Twitter. Eric Weathers has joined our team as our letterer. And Von Klaus will be the graphic designer. He will take care of the layout for the campaign page and so on and so on. So so that's the team. And if you would like me to, I can real quick share my screen and show you some more stuff.
Sure.
All right. There, where did you go?
I stepped away for a second. I got slammed with questions from Indie Vote Radio.
Wow.
I think because we didn't answer a lot of them, and I think something's wrong with the service for me to get the questions last week. So
right.
A lot of them came in, and it's oh. Okay, I'll go do some of these.
Let's see what Alex has here for us.
All right. So this is the website, you guys. It's called columnsofcreation.com. And it's I've made it. I don't know how, but I did. And I have to say it looks pretty cool. And there's a lot of pages on the website. Cover something called action figures, colors versus black and white, a lot of lore process stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, come to the website and take a look at it.
Yeah, those are.
So if you go to, so if you go to the page called colors versus black and white, you'll find the actual pages that we have ready so far, which is only 5 because the 6th has been removed. Because I found it a bit redundant after I applied some improvements to the script. Now the comic will be 44 pages, perfect bound, and so each page should be as high in quality as possible. No redundancy.
Now page 6. Don't go to it. Page 6. It looks like it has some adult content.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some titties.
Yeah.
And
we
Okay, everybody, we are TVMA DLSV. We might say words little kids don't want to hear.
Yeah,
Right.
we're also on YouTube. So
And we're
on
also
YouTube,
in the
yep.
United States.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
we may have to skip over page.
Europe is a little different.
That
In
1, 2,
their,
3.
and their
What page?
sensibilities.
Yeah, we'll skip that one. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so, but this one, in the meantime, we can look at this one. This one is page 1, and it is. What do you think? How is it? Is it good? Is it bad? What do you think?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, so who is your colorist again? Carlos Moreno.
Carlos Moreno. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know what's funny? It's
Beautiful work.
it's like small world because I could swear that I think JD worked with him too. So it's like we know. In the end, we know everybody. Every comic is 6 degrees of separation.
You know, it is. It is. And I'll tell you this: I'm the bitter girlfriend, ex-girlfriend.
Oh no!
Because I'll see somebody. My go-to colorist has been, I work with him with summer projects, has been Eugene Bevitu. And I've worked with him so much that like when I see work on somebody else's comic, I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, I know.
Feel betrayed.
Yeah.
Ooh,
You
I
go
get
attached,
daddy.
you know?
I get daddy.
Yeah.
9 Rounds
get-
says this
yeah.
book, dude. This book looks incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, man. So
Ross,
yeah, this is
comic
page
book
1.
Black belt. This looks good.
I've even.
you, guys.
I just want to show you guys. Tell you guys one more thing. I've been so petty before that I've actually messaged him and said, "Hope you had fun working with." I've done that.
That's right. That's how you do it.
Yeah, I'm very bad. But this first page looks amazing. That space scene. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, guys.
yeah.
Yeah. So, well, up until now, we had a different letter, but due to personal reasons, he will no longer be part of the project. So we wish him well.
Yes.
But now Eric Weathers will take over, and I don't expect these to change because I'm sure that Eric can just basically emulate them, carry on. I can't zoom in, so they look a bit pixelated, unfortunately. But if you guys have like a touch screen computer or something, you can go on the website and zoom in. So yeah, you have got this is page 1, and here's page 2. Where we see the passage of time from, the old ages, Roman Empire, ancient Egypt, and Crusades, all the way to medieval ages and modern time. And here you go, page 3. This is actually going to be a variant cover.
Oh, it's sweet.
Yeah, that's nice.
Thank you. It's going to be a variant cover.
Yeah.
And here you go, page 4. All right, you got Fire. He's
kudos to your art team. That's beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We pull our strengths together, and hopefully, in the end, we have a good looking product, right?
Yeah, because it's like because for me, I'm looking at this on a small screen. So the fact that the pages are still incredibly readable at the size that I'm seeing it is a testament to the work. Because nothing muddies up. I can still recognize it. Like I can tell that's New York City. The way the colors just they're even when they're similar, they pop somehow.
Yes.
But then again, also that's why JD works with him too. So
yeah, I am a big fan of my colors, really big fan, and obviously I'm a big fan of my artists. But most people tend to praise my artists, so I have to stick up for my other team members.
Yeah, of course.
And, well, Carlos is really beyond.
It's the combination of the two that makes the final work.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got that's page 4, and then you've got page 5, and you see, Fire is the catalyst of the story. He goes to his siblings, and is like, I would like to go on Earth to take a vacation. And how would you feel about that, you guys? He's like that, and everybody's like, well, I don't know about this, Fire. I mean, is that really wise? But they've spent a long time. They were there at the beginning of everything. They created space. Every single thing you find in space was created by them, and so they've spent most of their time in solitude in space. They haven't really interacted much with sentient beings beside each other and their parents. And except for Light and Dark, they have interacted with sentient beings before. Dark, in particular, has come to our planet before during the time of the Indians and the cowboys, and so that is a story that someday I might tell, if there's a crowd for it. That is, and but let's go to the cover so I can introduce you to the characters properly, right? So here you've got the cover. And this big green guy here is Earth. You've got lightning. You've got dark. You've got water. You've got wind. You've got light. And you've got fire. And they're siblings, and these are the columns of creation.
Now, 3 of those elements have a awesome band. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
That's right.
Not to be confused with the law firm Firth, Wynn, and Meyer. It's an old joke. I'm sorry. That looks fantastic, man.
Yeah.
You should be very proud of your team and yourself. Is this your first comic?
This is our first comic, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the problem. Here's where you messed up.
Oh no!
You put the bar very high. So listen, you got to now. Your next comic has to go beyond that.
Yep.
Your hair is gonna be great next time I see you.
Let me tell you. I get what you're saying, but I think I can handle it because I am that kind of person who is extremely perfectionist, and obviously my team is very talented, right? Yeah. They need very little instructions, but occasionally I have received some inconsistencies, let's say in the ways the characters look or the colors, not too much the colors actually, but stuff like that, right? Nothing gets past me that doesn't look 100% perfect. Okay, so as long as I am overseeing a project, which I always will be as long as the project belongs to me, you always get a high quality project. Okay.
I mean, it's almost kind of weird that we have to even say that.
Yeah, well, but
like you would think that would be a given, that every creator would be like, I'm putting my best foot forward each time.
You know what? No, I've worked with an artist who told me he had this unbelievable skill because I can't do it. I'm trying to learn it to be able to draw based upon his pay rate.
Oh, I've seen people do that too.
Yeah, so he was like, yeah, I'm only drawing this because I'm only doing this book for, I think it was like $800 the guy gave him. And it was only a couple pages because I'm not putting my all into this. Right. The funny thing was each time he would get very upset because those are the books that would come out. Yeah. The books that he was putting all his heart and soul in, those never came out.
That seems to be a creative issue. I remember a story that Tina Turner was saying how she hated What's Love Got to Do with It. She hated that song, but she did it anyway, and that was her first. That was like her number one hit. The big hit.
But it's karma.
They said the same thing about
something. You shouldn't do it.
Yeah, they said the same thing about Celine Dion and the Titanic song. She said she hated it so much she walked into the studio, did one cut, and left.
Oh, and then it's like it became the earworm of earworms.
Yeah. That and I don't know if there's actually a story behind it, but I do know that apparently songs people don't like. R. Kelly apparently did not like "Out There I Can Fly."
What?
He did not like that
I would
song.
believe that. Yeah, I could believe that too. Yeah.
He didn't like that song. Yeah. I mean, you can't play it now, but
I still play it. I love that song. It's such a beautiful song.
Yeah. But I was getting booed out the party. He comes and people like, "Are you playing this? Are you?" I'll talk to the DJ.
How do you feel about that? Like the fact that in this society we're no longer able to separate the artist and the creation.
You see, the funny thing is, it's not that we're not allowed to. It's just that the bitching is louder about it.
Right.
And like for me, like that's kind of like a bone of contention for me, because it's like, okay, it's like they have nothing to do with me. I mean, it's like in the end, it's like, look, if I don't like a person, I don't like a person, and that's it. And that's all I need to do is just not like them. But Rosemary's Baby is one of my favorite movies. I'm not going to stop watching it. My favorite book is American Psycho.
Right.
I mean, it's like I love Nabokov's Lolita. And it's like, and these are projects that people up and down are like, oh, that makes you a bad person and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, no, I'm interacting with media and I understand the criticisms behind it and I understand what's associated with it. But in the end, I can still enjoy that media while still understanding what's going on with it. But I'm not going to react to people saying, oh, that makes you a bad person. It's like, no, that just makes you an asshole because you're not minding your business.
Do you think too, we understand it a bit more because, we've created things and, being an artist, you're like, oh, I hope people like what I've done here.
Yeah.
But here's what I did like that. But let me go over here and live my life where I'm going to,
say that I'm a conservative or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna
destroy my legacy over here.
Yeah. Right.
I don't think it's funny. The more I kind of like experience this, the more I really do feel you actually can't separate the artist from the art, because the art is a part of that artist. I mean, it's like to say that, like, me personally have nothing to do with the artwork that's behind me. That's ridiculous.
Right.
It's like, so it's like, Roman Polanski, it's like there are certain themes that he does in his movies that's a reflection of who he is. And if you actually look into it, it's super ironic.
What I mean, what I mean to say is, for example, I'm writing an essay about Comicsgate, and because I'm a university student, and I'm trying to make an argument as to why Comicsgate is a loving community as opposed to a hate group.
It depends. Well, you see, the funny thing is, it's the way I look at it's like, why not both? Because when I look at it from my angle, that's kind of what I see. That it's like, yeah, on one hand, it's like, yeah, I understand what you guys are saying. I understand, and it's like I get it. But on the other hand, it's like I ain't going near you with a 10-foot pole. You guys are nutters.
But let me just provide you an example, right?
Yeah.
Let me just provide you an example. As somebody without going, I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to talk about that yet. It's not relevant to my work necessarily, but it is an important detail when it comes to discussing Comicsgate. I am one of the people who supposedly should be offended by Comicsgate. Right now, I have never encountered in my year of sort of like researching part of it any hateful or comment like that, and even if I did, I certainly wouldn't condemn the whole community for the mistakes of a few, and that should always be the case for everything in life. But what I was trying to say is, in this essay that I'm writing, I make an argument in the sense of, cancel culture and the idea of what I just said, separating the artist from the creation, in that, when does it stop? Because right now we find that these things are offensive. Okay, so what if, so much so that if you're a kid and you have Disney Plus, you have to ask your parents permission to watch Peter Pan or to watch Dumbo or to watch other things like that, because all of a sudden they have become offensive. And but it's like, where does it stop? So in 2021 we find that Peter Pan is offensive towards Native Americans.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so what about in 2050? So like, are we going to get to the point where we can watch no movies at all anymore, or listen to no songs at all because everybody's become an R. Kelly or Harvey Weinstein? Are we supposed to stop watching any movie that Harvey Weinstein?
Right. Well, that's kind of, it's like, because that's my argument, that it's like when people go, oh, this is offensive, that's offensive, or you can't watch this. And it's like, look, one, you can't tell me that I can't. For one, I mean, it's like, as much as they want to pretend that it should be illegal to do certain things, it's not. You know, it's like, just like it's not illegal to use certain words, it's not illegal to watch certain movies, it's not illegal to watch certain books, no matter how hard people try.
But they do punish you if you say that.
But that's different. But that's different, though. That we're talking about social punishment here. But that's different, and in the end, it depends on whether you care enough about it or not. Because it's like, because like I said, all my favorite books and a lot of my favorite movies are problematic. But the thing is, though, is that it's because we're people and we're all problematic. You know, so it's like you can dig, you can really dig. I mean, it's like, look, it's like, actually for me, you don't even have to dig that much, because it's like I've done some really questionable commissions on my own, you know. So it's like, you know, it's like, oh, you're canceled because you did non-consensual, you know, and it's like, go do something. Go help the homeless. You know, go do some actual activism. you know.
I'm gonna go for a reach here. I knew a young lady. She had used to do booth babing for me, which everyone knows that I did. She comes to the convention. She says there, and she sells comics. And she went off. She stopped. She said, I don't want to do booth babing anymore. Right. Well, she got, she was online doing modeling, and some guys reached out to her. They said, we want you to come. We're going to give you a website and a name. They're going to turn her into one of these website girls, you know. Oh, okay. She's going to do nude modeling online. Well, she went to go do it. She went and did it. And she got paid. She was down there for 2 weeks. Okay. She got like $6,000, came back home. Okay. She came back home. She, after about being home for 2 days, she found religion, which is great. Okay. Great. She found religion. She didn't want anything to do with it. She called the guys who did the website. She says, listen, I know the website launches next month. I don't want to launch. I
should have found religion before she signed that contract.
yeah. Because I started to wonder, did she do it? And so it's funny because she called us. She called me and Lola, and she's like, "Could you guys help me?" It's like, no, we can't help you.
You're not lawyers.
We're not involved in it. We can't help you. You know,
right? Yeah.
And she was very upset about that, and she thought that she wanted, you know. She wanted us to help her, but it's like,
I mean, it's like, if it makes her feel any better, Jesus hung out with prostitutes and tax collectors.
Well, she got mad. Mad because she thought like it was going to mess up her future too. And I get it. I get people being protective of their future, being protective of their image. And I think that sometimes we could do a better job of that. But that's why I don't put anything online that I feel is going to come back and bite me in the ass later on.
But you see, the thing is, though, is that we're at a point where people can find anything to get outraged over.
Sure.
I mean, it's like you sent me that article about, like some organization wants to change the definition of breast milk. Mm-hmm. Right. Now, the thing is, though, it was easy to get caught up in the knee-jerk reaction to that, But the thing is, though, if you read the article, you find, and I've seen a similar thing before, where they're talking about changing the phrasing in a clinical and diagnostics, context. It's not that they want to make it illegal to say the word breast. It's a clinical thing they're talking about. No, there is no yet, because like if the N word is not illegal to say,
they tried.
So we're talking about a very specific context. So it's like when you look at it in that context, and for me, it was like, okay, whatever. It's like I'm not. My identity is not so fragile that this is an issue for me. But going back to the Peter Pan thing, it's like, when do we stop getting outraged over everything? And you know what's funny? It's like, because that was a question I was thinking about yesterday. When do we stop getting outraged over everything? It's like, it's like, okay, so Peter Pan has these, has these problematic moments in it. So what you do is that's a learning experience. You explain to the kids that it's like, look, at the time period, this was an acceptable. This was acceptable in terms of media. Now it's not. It's kind of like, look, it's kind of like how not even 5 years ago everything was gay and retarded, and now we don't describe anything like that anymore, right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I even seen it on a sitcom.
Yeah.
I seen two characters were sitting in a jail cell, and the other character said, "Man, this is retarded."
Right.
And it's like, and the audience laughed.
Yeah.
And it was like, my reaction was, "Oh wait!" They said, "What did they say?"
Right.
They can't say that, and it's like, I felt
like
bad. Whereas,
Tom Segura has an entire skit about how language changes in such a short period of time, using the word retarded as an example. And what's funny is that he actually got in trouble for that skit because people started purposefully misrepresenting the skit as him promoting the usage of the word retarded, as opposed to him just explaining the etymology of the word.
I've even stopped doing the because I used to be very bad with when someone wouldn't understand something I said, I'd slow my voice down, throw my arm up, and say, yeah. I stopped doing that because I realized that, oh my God, that's offensive.
Right.
I shouldn't be doing that.
But that's, but the thing is, that's a growing thing that we do. It's like, look, in the end, I think like no matter what, nobody considers themselves an asshole. Nobody wants to be an asshole.
Well, no, that's not true either.
It's like, because it's like, look, there's certain things. Now, mind you, I'm not saying we don't can be. Because I'll be the first one to say, it's like, boy, is it really easy to be an asshole? Because there are certain things that I've wanted to say, like Varian and whatnot. And I go, it's like, you know what? No, I don't want to be that person.
So
we make a choice.
Come to my mind that purposefully set out to be an asshole.
Yeah, well, that's also different. But also it's like, those are the people who I also personally have an issue with. And there are certain artists that I don't follow because of that.
Can I just tell you something?
Sure.
It's always a certain type of people who gets offended about these things. So it makes it very easy to just not want to agree with their ideas, whatever they may be, even though you should have your own ideas, whatever they are, for it, depending on context. And context is another important thing. For example, in the example that Varian just said, right? It's like, if it's you and somebody else and there is no one around, what's the problem of you using the word retard?
Right, which has exactly, which has
context, right? Just context. Who cares, right? Like, it's the same situation with Trump, with when he said, grab him by the pee. Now, of course, you're gonna find that offensive, but it wasn't supposed to be filmed. He was having a private conversation with somebody.
A locker room conversation at that.
Right. And a lot of women, I'm sure that I see this kind of stuff on Instagram and Twitter all the time. They just drool over muscly man. And I'm sure they say all kinds of stuff, but nobody's there to film it. So it's really a contextual matter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
and
all
these
these
people take it out of their context and they place it on a stage where it can be judged by everybody. It's not judge anymore. It's frontier justice.
Yeah. I mean, what's funny, because I used to listen to Joe Rogan a lot, and it's like, I just kind of like, I rotate podcasts. So I used to listen to Joe Rogan a lot. And the thing is, though, is that I knew which episodes to not watch. Talk about context, right? Because the thing that I like, that I liked and didn't like about Joe Rogan is that when he really, if you weren't prepared for the type of conversation he has a tendency to have when he has especially an all male panel, it's like you were in for a rough time.
Is Joe Rogan that gentleman that just passed away?
No, that's Rush Limbaugh. That's a whole other. That's a whole other. Joe Rogan is an MMA commentator, comedian who also runs one of the most popular website podcasts, I think, in the world.
Conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. I mean, he's funny. But the thing is, though, but again, it's like, so I would look for certain shows, and I knew that certain shows I knew not to listen to, because like, oh, this is the locker room episode, where it's like, it's a bunch of guys, and you know what? I don't want to be there when it's a countdown to them saying something crazy. But the thing is, though, I just didn't listen to it. I didn't like hate watch it, and then again it's like take everything out of the context of the environment, and they go, oh, these are bad people. It's like, look, I saw it coming. I didn't, I crossed the street. I didn't, I didn't go in there.
Another big problem is that people are soft nowadays. They have been soft for a long time. In fact, if it were up to me, I would reintroduce the mandatory military at age 18 for everybody, men and women.
You know what's funny is like I've had that thought too.
You've had that thought. Why did you have it? Because if you had anybody should be able to watch those episodes that you were and I'm not saying that you are soft. I'm saying that it is a societal thing. Anybody should be able to watch those episodes and just watch them and sort of like become desensitized. This is the word. Right, to what is being discussed, not to take it personal and get offended, but simply know that it is not referring to you, right? And people aren't capable of doing that anymore. Myself included, very often I will scroll through Twitter. I have been, for the majority, I've been an Instagram personality, and personality, so to speak.
Right, yeah.
and now I'm trying to grow my audience on Twitter, because that's where the majority of CG and other indie, crowdfunded comic books is. And sometimes I will read something fucking stupid, like the people have been saying about this man who just died. Like I saw a post of a woman. She said, I found a great reason to bake a cake today. And on the cake, it said it was celebrating the death of this man. Right. Because he said things that she didn't agree with, right? And that's how they justify it, right? They think the things that we say cause people to die. Like if you're an anti-masker, then you are basically a murderer, because you are sharing your opinion, which is potentially murderous, like Gina Carano. That's trying to tell you how the left thinks, because I used to be one of them. And so that's how they justify it. They don't see themselves as evil. They see themselves as the ones getting rid of evil. And that's why they celebrate a person that they see as, white supremacist or whatever, because, why would they have a problem with that, right?
Well, one of the things that when I see that type of thing take place is that I remember, I've seen all the hate, and I've seen some of the anger and relief from Limbaugh's passing. And I think back about a year ago now, when Kobe Bryant passed in the helicopter crash, and I had friends, some family members who were like, "Well, that's what that rapist gets."
I was about to say,
and it was damn the other people that were in the helicopter, damn the fact that his child, who was innocent, was in the helicopter. No, good, he's gone, and that was from another side.
Well, so you see, but here's the thing though about being offended. It's like, so you were offended at being, so they were offended at being offended, so you were offended at them being offensive.
Well, no, I was saying like
because if we're talking about that people are offended at everything, then we're talking about people being offended at everything.
No, but there's also like a basic idea of decency and respect for life and for death, right?
You don't get that in comics.
No, not really.
You don't know.
Yeah. And the thing was, with
not polarization, no.
With our industry, we have to be very careful, because we're all like really different personalities. From Indie Vote Radio, we got a question here. This girl says, "Hi, my name is Megan, and I have a question. I am thinking about leaving my boyfriend. We have been together for 6.5 years, but he is an artist, and he has become really eccentric and hard to get along with over the past year or so. I've tried speaking with him and his friends, but I don't know what to do. Is this a part of being an artist? Will he get over this? He is deep in a project right now, and I'd hate to leave him. That's why. Knowing that this is just a temporary occurrence." I will say this.
We could do an entire show on that, and I think that we should, honestly.
We're all mental. Eric pointed out the other day that I don't think there's any artist that doesn't have a little something wrong with them upstairs.
Yeah,
Not a little touch. So
but
I would
speak,
because I was
for
waiting.
yourself.
Yeah, I was waiting for her to at least say like what was going on, because just to say that he's an eccentric artist, it's like and
Yeah.
you know. But the second she said deep in a project, and I go, okay, that's your problem right there. But your other problem is that without knowing more context of the situation, I've seen way too many. Like you've posted up way too many questions of or comments from significant others who resent the fact that their creative significant others are working.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the thing that I'm kind of seeing again. It's like without seeing a larger context of the question, it's like it's like I'm a little not tired, but it's a little too common for the non-creative half to really resent the creative half and the amount of work that they have to do on their projects. And it's like, it's kind of like, you know, the trope in shows where it's like the woman marries a cop and then resents the fact that he works long hours type of thing, and is a cop and can't talk to them and about the job and stuff. This is kind of the same thing. It's like, you knew he was an artist going in, you knew what it takes. And now that he has to focus on this project, now you're all in your feels about it.
I don't think they know what it takes.
But
Randy,
I was married for 5 years. I have an ex-wife, and we split up when I got my first project.
Wow.
I mean, because it took me a month, because I was fretting over every single little detail and trying to get the story right.
Yeah.
Mainly because I was stumbling through it. But it's very likely that our relationship shifted during that period, because I was doing what I always wanted to do. And it's very likely that he says that she mentioned he's suddenly getting eccentric, when it's probably his actual working self that's coming through, depending upon how he handles a creative project. Yeah. And again, we don't know for sure what her idea of eccentric is.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he keeping late hours? Is he sitting at the board obsessively? Is he cantankerous when he gets pulled away from the board? Because I get that way.
Mm-hmm.
I get real content if I'm sitting here working and suddenly I have to get up, or there's 15 things that we have to do today, because my wife is my social calendar. My current wife, who, by the way, is very sympathetic and empathetic to what I do. Yeah. Because I wouldn't have remarried unless I found somebody who was into comics, because I had to have somebody with that mutual acceptance. So that when I did get in a project, did get eccentric, was working late hours, was cranky because I'm riding on fumes or only have 2 hours of sleep or whatever, there has to be a layer of empathy there. But that also needs to go both ways. And she says she's tried to talk to the guy. Just remember, everybody's relationship evolves with time. And if this guy is doing what he really wants to do, and you think he's really eccentric, and he's very, he's weirding you out, and he's not listening or whatever, he's not meeting your needs, you might have to stop the relationship.
Right. Yeah. But also at the same time, it's like she says that I've tried talking to him, but it's like, yeah, but is it because you didn't get the answer you wanted? You know, it's like, because there
really has to be a lot of empathy in both directions here.
And also, I want to say too, I think one of the problems is that I'm not sure where they're at. Let's just say they're here in the States, but if they are, we've watched COVID shut down a lot of people's jobs over the past 5 years. She may not have seen him go into that eccentric state that she has now, because she doesn't have to work. So
not only that, but these are super mentally trying times, depending upon which state you're
on
in.
Top of everything, on top, So
now she's seeing him actually work. Nefarious says, I wouldn't blame the woman for having her feels about the situation. Maybe she didn't realize what it meant to date an artist, but her making an issue out of it or guilting him is unfair.
Is unfair. Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, but then again, it's like, you know, for transparency's sake, I'm talking from a very... I'm talking from
Good morning, Joe.
Oh, thank you. I'm talking from a very I guess from a particular situation. It's like both me and JD are creative.
Yeah.
And we do have, he writes, I draws, and we have literally separate spaces for that.
Okay.
And when he goes into that basement, I've seen plenty of times when he goes into that basement to write, I don't bother him. He could be in that basement for hours, and I will not even try. I won't even try to be cute about it unless like something's going on.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Because you just don't do that. You just don't break that, that momentum. It's the same thing when I'm working, when I'm working, actually he goes in the basement. So we're technically both working at the same time, and we don't bother each other. And that's just, it's like that's how we work, because that's the only way we can get the work done. I mean, it's like we don't have the amount of between us, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of comic book work between us. You don't get that by constantly being interrupted.
No, it's my wife. She'll shoo everywhere. She'll shoo the kid away from me. She'll do what needs to be done. Now she will. Unfortunately, my area to work is very close to the kitchen.
Right. Yeah.
So I can hear things going on in the kitchen. Get pots and pans ring. I get the smells out the kitchen. I'm like,
my office is next to the kitchen too. Yeah.
It's steak night.
Yeah.
It's like, let me go in there. Who's making cookies? Now, Alejandro, have you had that issue at all, where someone's like, I can't date you because you've been working on this damn comic for a year now?
So I am actually my first relationship, first and last, because I'm in love, very much in love.
God bless.
And my partner is an NHS. You don't know the NHS, but he's a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I live in the UK. So right now it's tough. It's tough for him. It's more than usual, basically, and at the same time, I'm working on my first ever project. So we're gonna move out of here in about a month.
Okay.
So that's gonna happen. So that's why I haven't started with my channel and everything, because I want to get to the new place first. So there are a lot of things converging at the same time, right? But we are really trying to make it work. Yeah. We've been together for over 7 months now, and it's great. And I'm sure that relationships do evolve. Ours is evolving as well, already slowly. But I think it's up to the two people to make it work. You can evolve with your partner. Thanks, man. Or woman, I'm not sure. Nefarious, I don't know who you are. I know you're a supporter because you're always there watching. So thank you. But there's a lot going on. So it's part of both people to make it work, I think. If you don't want to make it work, if you don't make it work, it's because you don't want to make it work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So perhaps the other person, you're trying, but the other person is like pushing you back. I can envision that as well. Because I'm kind of like, he calls me this as well, kind of the glue a little bit. Like if there's an argument, I am the one who finds rationality and, can sort of like come back and be like, I'm sorry, even if I don't think I was wrong. It doesn't matter. The point is, this is such a beautiful thing that you don't want it to end because of some disagreement. Even politically speaking, like he's very left-leaning. He's not very interested in politics at all. And so I have to try and bite my tongue. And he's really much into comics, Marvel comics, X-Men. He just bought a comic, Marvel's Voices. Marvel's Voices is like, a bunch of bullcrap for me. But I try to keep it to myself, because then he's gonna, we're gonna have an argument. Why would you have an argument over something like that?
Why waste your time with that? Yeah.
Okay. Let's not let politics destroy our personal relationships, and let's not let our careers destroy our you can have both. You can have a career and you can have love. God damn it.
I'm tempted to ask. Wait a second. Oh, sweetheart, who is the glue of our relationship?
Someone's gonna end.
Yes,
up with
no,
a
me,
16
Watch for the
you,
shoe.
on their
Watch for the
face.
shoe. Watch
Yeah.
for the shoe.
both. Yeah, she says both. But
Aw.
who's the rational one?
Depends on the situation.
It depends on the situation.
Context.
Yeah. We need context of who's the rational one. There have been some things that I've bought that she's like, "Why did you buy that?" And I'm like,
No,
I
look,
need it.
I've had to talk you down off of a ledge a couple of times, and you're like going, "I'm gonna get this," and I'm like,
look,
"You better
this
think twice."
is something that me and my mom both agree is like the real glue in a relationship. Separate bathrooms and separate bank accounts.
Oh yeah, and you know what? There was a period there. There was a period there where separate beds actually helped us.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I did not sleep in the same room. It started during was it? I think it started during a pregnancy. I was so nervous because I had started sloshing around a lot. I was so nervous I was gonna hit her or something or kick her or knee her.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, I'm sleeping on the sofa. And we got along famously. Because I wasn't snoring and everything.
Right. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so,
Can I tell you something about that actually?
Sure.
This being my first relationship, again, last, it's very much. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Mike.
It's very much. I very much thought that I was doomed not to be okay with any of it, eating together, because I like to eat. I like to eat like a pig. I don't want anybody looking at me while I'm doing it. Okay, there's shameless pig eating, and like KFC. Forget about it, and also sleeping. Like let's. We're
Empyrean,
men.
I can't argue with that.
Imperial
They
says,
need to have certain key issues.
must have highlight of comics.
It's like, you need to figure out too. Like imagine dating somebody and finding out that like they like the other company better. Like,
oh, brother!
Imagine walking in like, "Oh, I love you so much," and you're like, "What are those?" "Oh, it's my Image Comics collection." The whole thing. And you're like, yeah, even the early 90s stuff. Oh my god, yes. Oh, come check out my was it Nighthawk? Come check out my Nighthawk collection.
Shadowhawk.
Shadowhawk.
Would you like to come up and see my etchings?
I know that Shadowhawk's a bad book, but I love the design of that character, and I loved those books. It's dumber than hell, but I
got that, right? You know where he got that, right?
Yeah,
you know where Valentino got that?
I assume it's just an amalgamation of Batman and Wolverine.
Hawk Girl.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That doesn't shock me.
Right from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
because I'll tell you, I had an argument with him for a while because I've got a character in Tales from the Aniverse called Pajan.
Oh yeah,
That's almost the same helmet. And I said, "Hey, dude, what the heck?" And he went, "Oh, I didn't get it from you. I got it from here." And he showed me how he went from Hawk Girl to Shadowhawk.
Yeah, but it's still,
that's actually really
funny
cool.
to think that he might have taken it from you, though.
I actually hold on, Ray.
Say what?
But still, though, it is a funny thought to think that he might have taken it from you. Because the similarities are incredible.
Amazing. Yes.
I looked at that. I remember when you told me that, Randy. I ran home and looked at my
no, they're identical. They're practically identical.
I'm like, damn it. There's Pajan down there to the right.
Yeah.
With the
red.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it was real nice of him to clear that up. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of comic book relationships, so what was the one book you both bonded over? Because like for me and JD, the one book that really that it's like that really made us go, "Ooh, I like you," is Asgardian Wars, X-Men Asgardian Wars. That's the one book that I could say that we bonded over.
Really?
Randy's just like
no, see, I met
fan. Randy, you go.
I'm sorry. When I met my wife, I was retailing. So I would sit behind the counter and she kept coming in buying comics. She was buying one of every superhero book because that's what her and her ex-husband used to read constantly, and she just never stopped. So she'd keep coming into the shop and she was better dressed and trying to raise conversations and that. And I'm like, I was just getting out of a relationship and I wasn't interested in starting anything new up at all. You know, it's like girls, you know, I'm gonna work on my comics. And then she was like, she had a son that was about the same age as my daughter, so we were gonna play date them. And then we decided maybe we should go out first. And then we went out to see Beetlejuice, and after that, it was over. So we were like, there was, so you know, I was moved in within a week, and we haven't left each other since. So
my you know, he's really into how you know, X-Men, like I said, and I read he bought House of X, Powers of X, and by Jonathan Hickman.
Yep.
And I wasn't reading anything from Marvel or DC for a while, for reasons that I think we can all imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And I read that book, and it made me hungry to read comics again, because Jonathan Hickman, and I picked up East of West, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I actually
it's so good though.
I'm not going to continue it, because I don't really enjoy comics that confuse me like that. You know, that use words, names, like lore that I'm not being familiarized with. You know, you're just throwing me into it with no warning. But House of X is a really good book. Really good book, and you know, some concepts that are being presented in there with Moira and you know, the whole thing, really great stuff. So that's the book that we sort of bonded over. But later on,
you know, for me, you guys are gonna have to. It was
a Hitman comic creator moment. What?
Yeah, I created it. No, he created it. That's what it is. For me and Lola, it wasn't like. Her father had taken her to comic shops before, but and her grandfather had a huge, like, and most of it sitting in my hallway right now. Can look down the hall and see it. Card collection, which he's given her half of, which is ridiculous. But I'm happy because those Marvel cards are now up in value. Think about hitting eBay. But I want to sell my personal collection, but those extras in the hallway, they gotta go.
Well, if they're extras, you know.
Yeah. But the thing is, he had she you know, she had gotten out of reading comics. I mean, she was into modeling, and so she's like, yeah, comic books. But before Civil War, the movie came out, I said, look, you got to read the comics. And I think I went back, I got all the comics out of my collection, and I sat them down. And I think, you know, you remember Civil War spun off into all these different directions, and she's looking at this stack of comics like this. I got to read all of these. I said, okay, well, here, just read the main stuff. So I took out all the, you know, access books, the tie-ins, and I gave those to her to read. And she read them. It took about maybe 2 hours to get through them. But she liked them. And she had the same opinion I had. And then I think and she was on the same side, because in the comics, I was definitely Team Cap. And I went into the movie Team Cap. And I came out the movie Team Tony.
Yeah. Well, like that was the whole thing with the movie, is they flipped the dynamic there. And I think that the Civil War comic, its greatest strength was that it started off with an issue where you could reasonably be on either side.
Yeah.
But then, like, at its climax, went so hardcore on making you hate Tony Stark that it was just like, well, you've completely thrown the bipartisan angle out of this, and have effectively just made this character a villain.
Yeah.
Whereas when you see Civil War the film, it's something that's been built up for a while between Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, where, you know, Cap does have this dark side, and he does have these secrets that he's been keeping from people. And he's not perfect. And so you have Tony, who, regardless of how much they've butted heads, has kind of idealized Cap as his moral as like the moral conscience of the Avengers. And now they're at odds over this secret, and Cap's trying to protect his best friend. But at the end of the day, you know, the things Bucky has done in the MCU, it's like, well, you kind of got to throw people a bone here.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing. Civil War is a story where I think that Tony is more in the right, but like at the end of the day, it's also done in a way where you empathize with Cap, because this is the guy that had his back all the time when he was growing up. This is the guy that.
Let me say this: that movie at the end, when that punk thug Steve Rogers and his little friend Bucky jumped my boy Tony, I know a gang beating when I see it. Those Brooklyn Ballers,
please.
they beat that poor young boy up. He was sitting there. And let me tell you something else, too. If it would have been one-on-one fight between Cap and Tony, Tony would have washed him.
That's not even true because Cap wasn't even trying really. Like Cap was trying to prevent Tony from going to kill Bucky. He was not trying
right now.
He was not trying to be lethal at all.
Nefarious said it best, but life shouldn't be a Shakespearean tragedy or Bridget Jones.
I've made it very angry. Anyways,
is it Sunday? We're not talking comics again.
I think we're more on topic on comics than we were on Sunday.
Yeah. Guys, I actually unfortunately have to go.
No.
I'm really
you're missing out on quality nonsense.
The nitwittery has only begun.
I'm gonna let Mike know why he's wrong. Don't worry, you haven't missed anything.
No, honestly, like this is part of trying to balance everything.
Yeah, exactly. We get you. We
will be talking about your comic again. I'll bring it back up on a show. We would like to have you on our Tuesday night show because right now we got 41,104 people listening right now on Indie Vote Radio. Thank you guys for tuning in. Nice. Check out Alejandro's comic. We're gonna put the link in the description. And make sure you guys go over there and click it.
Sign up for notifications on it.
Yeah, because it's a good it's a good looking book, and
I'm excited to go live.
I'm thinking April or May. I'll see who's launching in that period because I don't want to clash with anybody for their sake.
I would go for it. Just go for yours.
Down there, a fantastic looking book you're going to want to add to your library.
Yes.
Go over there and pick that book up immediately. Magically.
As soon as that goes live,
you don't English very good today.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you to the chat. Thank you guys, and thanks to everything comics. Thank you guys. Honestly,
it looks great.
And good luck on your dissertation.
Great. Yes.
Thank you so much. I look forward to coming back, you guys.
Yeah, right. We'll definitely love to have you back.
Yes.
All right. See you soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Now, let me tell you why you're wrong.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Let's rock.
They fought him.
How about the fact that Cap was laying Tony's ass out before Tony activated the bleeding edge? Not
walking at the Hanleys.
Straight up, Cap was laying his ass out until Tony's like, "Oh, scan his fight pattern."
Superman.
Let's just get the ruler out and measure it.
Yeah, let's
Superman
do it.
Versus a xenomorph.
Pretty soon there's going to be a sword fight.
And I'm like, really?
Are you saying that Tony didn't have the ability to use the tech that his mind he created out of his mind, out of his genius, to beat that steroid abusing prick Rogers? Is that what you're saying? Rogers on steroids.
What was it we were talking about being offended all the time? What was it?
I think Scott Rosemus said it best.
Daphne, do we have something we want to add to this?
Yeah.
Stop sucking that dick.
Oh goodness. Anyways,
listen.
Hey kids, we're TVMA DLSV. Hang in there.
What's the curious to me?
For real. Did you know that? Well, at least we know for sure that Batman dick makes everybody panic.
Yeah, that's a wang. That's a wang.
I hate the Batman fan base so much, but I love Batman as a character. But
I'll say this.
Okay, all right. Let's swing
Batman
this back
has
a little
a character.
bit.
What?
Let's swing this back a little bit because it's like I think that he said that Alejandro had said. When starting a Kickstarter or a campaign, does anybody really care who else is starting a Kickstarter at the same time?
I try to.
I try and kind of look at who else is planning on launching around then, so that I know that if if I launch, I don't get like immediately overshadowed by someone else. Like that was one of the things that, like, when I was trying to plan out Pyramid Gambit, I was trying to be smart about, and then it just so happened that like Ethan ended up launching like what I can't remember which campaign he launched, but he launched it like a week after mine. So I was like, I realized that I don't have direct competition with him like at all, but this is not going to make marketing this easy.
But I mean, but the thing is, I mean, but did you? I mean, because that's literally the one thing I don't pay attention to. Because like, even if like me and Ethan did a campaign at the same time, like I don't think like we. No,
your audiences wouldn't necessarily your audiences wouldn't necessarily overlap. Right, it's just it's one of those things where Indiegogo like especially on the Indiegogo platform, Indiegogo prioritizes who they push based off of who's constantly hitting that 100% mark. I see. Right? Yeah. So like that's the way that the Indiegogo algorithm works, is that every single time you hit 100%, you get another push. So if you have someone like Ethan that launches their campaign alongside yours and they're constantly hitting another 100%, like it's going to be very tough for you to use that algorithm to your advantage.
Okay, I did, yeah. Okay, so that I didn't think of that part about the algorithm. Okay.
So like that is something that you kind of have to pay attention to, but like for the most part, definitely no. Like I don't really like it. I do try and see like, okay, who else is launching around that time, because that's the other big thing is you can also talk to those people and be like, hey, we're launching around the same time. We can share each other. Like that's literally what I'm doing right now. Perfect 10 and I are doing a dual launch, and we have a partnership with our campaigns where if you back both of our books, you get a pinup by Russ Leach. We're having Russ do a Perfect 10 Embrace pinup where both of our characters will be featured, and you back both books and you get that pinup.
How do you not synchronize, but how like you organize that? Like who sends out the print? How do you prove that?
So what we're going to be doing is and I'm when we announce it on I'm still ironing out all the details, but effectively we're going to announce how that works when we're doing the live stream. Okay. Where it's like it'll effectively be something to the vein of, you know, since I'm going to be the one facilitating getting the pinups out during the Embrace, it'll probably be you send a reply email when you do your backer pledge that showcases like your purchase of Perfect 10 as well, with your backer number and everything, and so then I just create a spreadsheet. And so that'll be like that's probably going to it's going to require a lot of work on my end, right? Okay. But it's one of those things that it's worth it, because Perfect 10's another great book. It has a very solid and established audience. I think the first book, if it didn't break 5-figure, it came pretty damn close. So if we're hitting, and it got a lot of positive reception. So like if both of us are expanding, having expanding fan base and what have you, we can tap into both of those bases and hopefully double both of what we were expecting. So like that's the whole thing with it is like at the end of the day, that work, yeah, it's going to be tedious, but like it's worth it so long as we're keeping up with it and everything, and everybody can be like, hey, you know, this is this is what I backed both projects, and the communication is going well, which most people are fine with doing. Then it shouldn't be a problem. And I'm sure that there'll be onesie-twosies of people that, you know, oh man, I forgot to send my email in, or this, that, and the other. And if they reach out to me after we've done fulfillment, I have no problem going back and like, okay, yeah, I'll get another one of those pinups out for you.
What's our numbers, Varian?
We are at 42,602.
So we're not gaining.
I did want to say from Indie Vote Radio, another question we had pop up was, and this is another question about crowdfunding and There's two questions. It's about crowdfunding and going out on streams. This one is about the first is that's when crowdfunding and you set your goals. Should you celebrate on your campaign page when you hit that goal, or is that considered in poor taste? I'll just take quick questions, a quick answer from you guys. Randy, poor taste, or go ahead and celebrate?
I'd celebrate.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd celebrate and thank everybody.
Daphne?
Yeah, I mean, if I actually catch it, sure, I mention it. Sometimes I forget though.
Michael.
No, I think that especially like you should definitely celebrate it, and you should use it as a way to to continue to build more momentum.
Yeah,
Like show
exactly.
your enthusiasm of like, yeah, we just hit funding. You guys are the best. Let's
Yeah,
keep this party
exactly.
rolling, and then use that as a way. It's like, so
Yeah.
we funded, but we have another stretch goal.
Right.
We-
Yeah, especially with the stretch goals.
But
You
you
Yeah.
know,
definitely want to. The other question is, okay, so
it's marketing. It's kind of weird to say it's in poor taste.
yeah,
Yeah.
The other question is, they say, as someone who's putting together a campaign, I've been asked to go on different shows to talk about my
Right.
book.
Yeah.
I understand the trade-off. If I'm going on a show that has a lot of viewers, they are giving me the opportunity to expose myself to their viewer base. There also are shows that use me to hype up their viewer base. But how can I know when I'm going on the right type of show? You know,
I
okay. Go ahead, Daph.
I don't see a difference. I don't see a difference. A show's a show. I mean, it's like whether they only have like 100 viewers or they have 100,000 viewers. And I think it's just important. It's just as important to reach both types, you know, than to all of a sudden be picky about it, because it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like, come on, just get yourself out there. I mean, it's like even if a show has 100 viewers, that's, if you're not used to being on a show, that just gives you an opportunity to get used to being on a show. So what difference does it make?
I think that, yeah, I agree. I think that what you might want to look out for is, I've labeled it show drift, where the show or the person, the host, is trying to find their own identity. So their same show like starts to drift in what they cover. So for instance, you know, one day they're all about comics, and then next month it's about chewing gum. You know, you kind of want to watch that.
That is a very large jump. No, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's hard
I think
to steer the conversation when everybody's talking. And I've had shows on Sunday that we've gone way off topic.
Yeah.
Because everybody starts
this
wondering.
last Sunday was an example of
It's been like that for a couple of shows.
I would say just worry about that type of stuff. Like if you see somebody, like I'm okay if anybody, a person have multiple type of shows. Let me say that multiple shows are okay. If you want to have 7-8 shows a day, that's fine. Doesn't mean people are going to watch that many shows, but you can do that. But if you have a show, like if Indie Vote all of a sudden started covering chewing gum, that's, what are we doing? You know, that's not comics. So I would be careful of that. But you know, that's just me. Randy, what do you think? Any things you look out for before you go on the show?
No, I don't get invited on very many shows.
Oh,
but yeah,
yo.
I'd go on if I had something to push. I'd go everywhere because you never know who's listening.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure. If you help bump somebody's numbers because they're following you, that's cool too, because they're following you.
Yeah.
And they'll follow you to the next show.
Yeah.
So why not?
Indie Vote
gum. Yeah.
So yeah.
It'll go with the Indie Volt energy drink.
It will. They both be caffeinated. I'm doing soap. You guys don't believe me. Lola's working on Indie Vote soap. So it'll be caffeinated as well. Somebody breast thing. Yeah, you know, it could happen. I mean, I do have 5 gum with the Avengers on it right here for the video game. Only reason I buy that gum is because they put codes inside that work with the Avengers video game, which I haven't played in like a month or two, but
which I guess flopped, right?
And it's
successful marketing.
It's gaining some momentum back now that they have more content, but it should not have been released when it did. And I'm one of the people that actually enjoys playing the game solely because the Cap gameplay is like superb and he's broken.
I'll get online and I'll see.
It's that new patch that they've done that completely eliminates Ms. Marvel.
You know, it's really funny because Kamala is nowhere near as bad as she's been in some of the books in that game.
I watched a clip on YouTube that had the movie part of the game.
Yeah.
And thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, she's like they actually have like a pretty solid story in there. I think that the big problem is the main campaign. Varian, you can probably vouch for this. I'd say it's around like 3-4 hours of gameplay for the main game. It's more of a tutorial, and it was supposed to be that you were playing the multiplayer missions, but then they didn't put out more multiplayer missions. And so you ran out of content to go through very quickly, and it just became you grinding to max level your entire squad.
And there are things in the game that don't make sense. Like my boy Hulk is getting taken out by guys who are punching. Like regular.
Oh yeah, no, like the Hulk is one of probably the most poorly handled characters in that game. Thor is like ridiculously overpowered when you figure out how to use him.
So is Black Widow. She's like, you can't beat her. And I felt great playing that. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm not going to die. Indie Vote Radio question number 3 for today, I believe. And is a website important to indie creators nowadays? Your own personal website, is it important to have? I think so. Home base is always nice to have.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially since the way like places like Facebook and Instagram that they're constantly throttling, like who has access to your posts. So at least you have one central location that you control.
Not just that, but you're getting a lot of polarizations between platforms.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You're on Parler? I don't like people who are on Parler.
You're on Twitter? I don't even like being on Twitter. It's like, look.
I hate being on Twitter. It's just where most of my customers are.
Yeah. Facebook's for old people.
Yeah, exactly.
I like MySpace. MySpace is for really old people.
Oh God.
I think having your own.
Not just that, but it's cool to have a place that's not just yours or your company's, but it's a place where everybody knows they can go to pick up the stuff you have to offer. Yeah. Make sure you don't do just a site where you're showing stuff off, or you've got a site that's got a big marketplace. Like right now, we're restructuring aerocomics.com in order to accommodate a full marketplace with everything that we've offered over the years, some going back like 30 some years of different stock, whatever we have on hand, we'll be offering at that marketplace. Aerocomics.com.
Also have a mailing list for people to sign up for. And you want to have as much direct contact as possible with the people who are buying your stuff. Mm-hmm. Don't let any other platform get in the way of that.
And what I would say too is that Kickstarter and Indiegogo, I know Indiegogo does it. They keep your former campaigns up there, almost like an open wound, and people can still find those. And if someone finds them, they're no longer available. But someone looks at your art, oh man, I really want this book. They should be able to go find that book from you and purchase it, rather than hoping that you come up with a second campaign. Because you could be 4 months of putting out a new campaign. Look, they lost interest in 4 months. But they want it right then. They can come to your website. They can buy the book then and there, or they can run to eBay. But I think, honestly, having your own website, Shopify, there's a couple other ones, carts, places that will allow you to, they'll take a fee for you,
make your own. Yeah.
And those are all good,
Right.
Yep, those are all good ways to go.
Kickstarter, what they allow you to do is that on older campaigns, you can change a link button. You can make a link button usually I have it set to go to my next campaign or a next landing page, but you can also have it set to go to your store, to go to your website. Mm-hmm. So at least Kickstarter does that. So if they find your old campaign, there's a link there already with updated content.
Yeah, I think that's having your own website it's still important. There have been people who said that .coms or you don't need them anymore, but I disagree.
I disagree too. Yeah.
Also, Indie Vote Radio question, and this is the funny one. So this is from ELEC. Is that Alec? I guess it might be Alec. Elic. I'm sorry if I'm destroying your name. I apologize. But it says, I released my comic in 2 versions, black and white and color, because I got a colorist late in the program, in the process. Do you guys think that my sorry, I don't think it's kind of weird how they wrote it. What do you guys? I guess he's asking, what do you guys think sold more, my black and white or my color comic? Oddly enough, they are tied. That's I can understand that
because you're working in an alternative market.
Yeah, JD's has because he does black and white and color, and they're usually about the same.
Yes.
Well, a lot of people actually really like seeing a lot of people actually really like seeing the black and white stuff. It's like I did a black and white cut for Elysian Fields issue 0, and that was actually like pretty popular. People really like to see that art, and then you can treat it as something like DC for a while was re-releasing some of their like
always color.
Was releasing their some of their more iconic runs for characters, except it's just like the pencil work.
Yeah,
or
they did that for Jim Lee book I got. They went in, they took Jim
did that for they've done that for Hush. They've done that for a few different ones, and those are really popular because it's like, oh, cool! I get to see this thing. I get to see the skeleton of this iconic book, and still get to read the book, but get to see it prior to it being inked and colored and what have you. And like that's a huge collector point for a lot of people. So I'm not surprised.
I have a couple books like that where they've taken out the words are there, the sound effects are finished. They were in color, but the art was like pencils, inks.
I stumbled across a collection at Ollie's that DC had actually printed as a coloring book. That was actually like 3 or 4 really good Paul Dini stories from Batman the Animated. I picked it up not to color in it, but to look at Paul Dini's work in black and white. I mean, without having any color on it.
Yeah. Because
that to me was fascinating.
I mean, that's the beauty of print on demand, that it allows us to be really, really versatile with the work that we do. It's like that. But before, like, I think the only option we had was to do like ash cans or something.
Yeah.
But it's like, but now it's like, oh, here's a black and white version, here's a color version, it's like, here's all sorts of and there's a collector's market for all that. So why not?
And back in the late 80s, doing color was prohibitive.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially on the numbers that we were getting thanks to Diamond and the Green section.
Yeah. I mean, what was funny is like, I remember we were discussing this, and I go, it's like, it's like, like back in the day, like color was so expensive. It wasn't even an option. Like you would have thought that our ability to do color would have been like something to celebrate. And instead we ended up doing our first color, like printing our first color book, and we barely noticed it. It's like it was just like so easy to do that it's like, oh, wait a minute, we did a color book.
Yeah. I remember my first book was black and white, and it wasn't for price. It wasn't the price of the printing. It was the price of finding a colorist at that point. Any colorist I talked to, they were like, yeah, I think I got quoted $175 a page, and at that point, like, I don't have it. I can't do it. Luckily, my artist was like, well, I think it's fine without colors. I put some gray tones in there, and it does look good. Now I would love to go back and color it, and I can do that now because I know colorists, and I know I got I can pay a little bit for page rate, but I think that I like that the fact that I did that, because now I feel like I have that notch about my first book is black and white as well, even though it didn't have to be. Indie Vote Radio question. I've lost the number, but hi guys. Am I being a dick here when I get upset when my family members come onto my post for my comic or any of my other business endeavors and say, I'm so proud of you, blah, 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 or good doing, cousin, awesome jobs, sis. Is this something that I'm being a dick about? I want them to stop. I don't know how to address the situation. It makes me feel unprofessional.
You must have a hard time taking compliments.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, what's funny is that because it's like I have relatives all the time commenting on my Facebook posts, and yeah, it's a combination. It's a combination of embarrassing, and it's like, oh,
as long as they're not
like
popping,
your mom showing up at your job.
Yeah,
as long as they're not popping up there going, "Cool story, bro."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like it.
That might not be a compliment.
Yeah, like that's my whole thing. Like support, man.
Yeah.
Like you and if your family is supportive enough, because I know a lot of creators whose parents and family members look down at them.
Yeah, no, for real.
For working in this industry, for trying to get into this industry. So if you have family members that are looking at your stuff and are saying, "Great job, we're so proud of you, keep it up," don't belittle that. Like that's huge.
It always stuns me when a member of my family or the wife's family comes up and starts asking comic book questions.
Yeah. I think that if you can, it's cool to have. And now I get how it can also be like.
Well, let me tell you something that happened. Well, I mean, if you follow my Facebook, you would have seen this already. But the other day, my mom contacted me through text, and she asked me, this looks familiar? Is this yours?" And she pops up furry porn on my on the text, and I'm like going, "Why the F do you have furry porn on your TV?" Because she's she took the photo from the TV, and I started freaking out because like, what is she looking at? Like, what is her computer and her TV conspiring to do to me? and it turns out that she was watching an episode of John Oliver where he uses furry porn to illustrate something about COVID. And I was like going, "Oh my God, I have to sit here." And my sister is tweeting me going, "Does she know about the furry porn?" And I go, "I think she does, but I'm not sure." And then we're going back and forth. And then it turns out that my mom thought that John Oliver had stolen one of my artwork and that he owed me money.
That's amazing.
That is funny.
Incredible.
In the end, Mom was looking out. So
no, Mom, there's just a perv working at
exactly.
at
It's just
Oliver's
somebody
show
else
in the furry
doing
porn.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I seen that.
I'm not the only one that does that kind of thing. Yeah.
I seen that post, Daphne. I thought she's in trouble now.
No, it was funny. It was funny.
It was funny.
I would I think though, having your family, I mean, don't get me wrong, some family members can do stuff to be a little facetious. Right. You know, they can, go like you said, Randy, cool story, bro.
Yeah.
Or they'll come on your page. What I don't like is I post something for Indie Vote or something else for Last Call, and I get a relative that goes there and says, "Tell your mom to call me."
Oh.
it's like
yeah, that's a little. So it's like, you
Messenger was right.
Yeah,
Messenger was right there, but you chose to come on a post and say, "Tell your mom to call me." It's like, go away. Don't be shocked when I delete your post. Don't be shocked. But yeah, I think that's I think it's perfectly okay. Now, the next question, and this one is a bit of a
saucy question.
Yeah, we're turning back to some of our more dark on the show.
Oh, by the way, Daphne.
Yes.
I've got your book, and I threw in something extra for you and
Jiggy. Thank you.
So I'm waiting for all the posters and cards to come in, but the entirety of Pyramid Gambit is sorted outside of.
Thank you.
Do you have access to the questions?
Huh?
Do you have access to the radio questions?
No.
What you just did was actually one of the questions. The question I'm about to go into.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's awesome that you did that.
Premonition.
How do you feel about, and this one here is from T. Jones. T. Jones says, how do you feel about creators throwing in extra content for their creator buddies or personal friends in packages? He said he had to pay full price for, but the person's creator buddies are getting extra stuff. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's fair? Go ahead.
Before I answer this, the big reason why I am giving Daphne a copy of the Holofoil issue 0 is she did a tremendous fan art piece for our book that is, while it is featured in the back, is something that people that she should be compensated for. That was time that she did. And while I can't necessarily throw money at her because I'm working on the Embrace, and that's where those funds are going right now, I can give her a copy of a book of the book. I think I did my count last night. I think I've got like 10 copies of the Holofoil left. And so I was like, you know what? She did a fantastic job on this piece. Yes, I gave her a shout out in my book, but yeah, I'm giving her an extra copy. I'm giving her one of my few copies that I have left. And I've done stuff for this, not just for creators. We had a guy that backed the first campaign that I found out had a tragedy of his father passing, and that's why he wasn't able to back the second book. I'm sending him a copy of Pyramid Gambit with all of the little extras, because I know he would have backed if he could.
But let's go back to Daphne. Daphne's getting a copy because she didn't pay. That sounds like
doesn't. Varian, he likes me better than you.
It sounds like payola.
I don't know what you want me to say. At the end of the day, Daphne paid for Pyramid Gambit, so I am getting her Pyramid Gambit.
Yeah, that's true. Technically, we traded.
She paid for a product. I am throwing in this extra thing because she also did a stellar piece of artwork that I use in my book.
Is it colored?
Yeah,
full
color. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
It's on the Facebook. I showed it on the Facebook.
I've seen the black and white version. I've seen the black and white version.
Yeah, she did a tremendous drawing of Achilles. That was great. So yeah, I'm giving her an extra.
I thought it should have been a poster.
Oh, thank you.
I thought it should be, when I seen that, that should be a poster. I thought it was cool. No, all jokes aside, I thought it was cool. But the question the guy asked was, I guess I can feel how I would get a little upset.
How would he know that? If I'm packing up a Kickstarter right now, yes, I'm giving extra stuff to my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So how would he know?
I think sometimes we go online and we post and we tag people.
But the thing is, that's the context. Yeah. If he was packing up a Kickstarter, I'm sure he would give extra stuff to his friends too.
I know, I do it.
I don't. Yeah.
I treat everyone equally when it comes down to how I fulfill. As I said, I'm giving.
Some people are more equal than others.
Yeah, I'm as I said, Daphne. I am actively giving her this Holofoil book because she did a fantastic piece of fan art,
and I love shiny things.
Yeah, and and on top of that, JD has had me on his channel how many times? At the end of the day. He's you guys have done a lot for me.
Have a show coming up too.
I not only do I do it, I expect it. No. God's hand. I don't know the rest of you, but I got an 8x10 glossy of
naked
Anthony.
picture of Anthony.
What?
Anthony,
the rest of you didn't get that. See there, you didn't get the 8x10.
No, some of us didn't want to get that.
Okay, cool. I didn't pay for one, so I wasn't expecting one, and I don't care that you got one. That's nice. He's a good dude.
No, I didn't get an 8x10 glossy, but I joked with him about that. I'm like,
I did get some extra beads though.
Yeah. See, you got extra beads. It doesn't matter. Look, you support this person. They're gonna put. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you, Poster. I know people right now who they get free Marvel and DC comics because they know somebody on the staff. Yep. So don't get mad. There are people out there right now who are getting books that they don't pay for. I know someone right now who's on the Marvel and actually on the DC, or is it Marvel? It's one of the Imager. They're on these different review boards, and every month they get a nice stack of comics, some of which ain't even out yet technically, that they can review. Now, DC recently switched to all digital, I think it is. So they're like, hey, we're not sending you comics out anymore. You can get this digital link. Go check that out. But this has been done for a long time, and now you're just seeing guys. And again, like Michael said, you send some extra to the people who have shows, hint, because because they have you on their show. Excuse me, they get you backers, they get you, exposure. to fellow collaborators. You know, you want to send them things. So yeah. Now
to follow on what Odin said, one of the packages that I packed, the guy had wanted a virgin cover and he forgot to pay me for it. So I'm putting one in there for him. It's like, here, Merry Christmas. You know, it's like, so, you know, that's what we do.
And that's a nice thing to do. Like, as I said, like, you know, I ended up I can't remember what stream it was on, but this guy came out and nobody had heard from him in months. And so we were all like, oh man, like, how have you been? And everything like that. It's like, oh, you know, it's been really rough. His dad passed away. He's been handling his estate and has been having to sell all of it. And it was one of those things like, shoot me an email with your address.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm giving you a copy of the book. Like at the end of the day, it's a great way to showcase, like, hey, you know, like,
I agree. You know,
be human.
taking it a bit away from comics for a second. It's a little personal, but there was a point about 6 years ago. Lola had, about 7 years ago, one of Lola's first jobs was at GameStop, and she worked there only seasonally. She only was there for like 3 months.
I'm sorry.
She hated it, but she met
everyone hates
while she was working there. She met her fellow employees she loved. One of her boss was still friends with her. I mean, how ironic is that? She's still friends with her boss from that job.
Wow,
matter
of fact, it's very seldom the people. It's just that the company sucks.
Yeah, he's a frequent watcher of the show. So if you're watching, hello, Larry. But he's an oncoming sponsor too because he's managing a store. So
there you go.
Managing another store, but anyway, not a GameStop, but a different company. But but Lola had because of me and my ignorance, Lola had gotten pregnant, and so everyone was really excited. And unfortunately, we miscarried. Now, the thing was, after that, everyone kind of knew word had got around. And about 2.5 weeks later, I'm out for just a drive because it's still kind of mentally recuperating. And I just, out of habit, pulled into GameStop. And I walked in and looked around, and it was the first time I had been like out or in that store since that had happened. And one of the cashiers, he looked at me and said, "Hey, Marion, how's it going?" And I said, "I'm okay." And I'm looking at the wall, and I get like 4 games, and they were pretty expensive games. And I set them on the counter, and he rings them up, and he does some other stuff. And he's making small talk. He puts them in the bag, and he hands them to me. And I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm looking at the prices." And he says, "No, we're not going to charge you."
Oh, see.
And he refused to let me pay for games for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
And because I go to video games quick. And so that always touched me. Like,
Right.
wow.
Yeah.
So it's that type of thing, like you just said, Michael.
I mean, I don't blame the question, but the problem is that at the same time, it's like, dude, are you kind of salty because you're not getting extra stuff? It's like you don't want to do that
what
either.
It comes down to. Like,
you don't want. I'm mad at my friends for not giving me stuff.
Mm-hmm. Email Indie Vault. Me and Randy have a bunch of how-to writers books right here we can send you.
I keep all that stuff so I can point and laugh.
But it's one of those things where I do nice things for people,
right, yeah.
that where I can,
right,
and so I'm never going to do something like hook one of my buddies up when I don't have enough to hook everyone else up.
Right, yeah.
That's the customers do come first, and that's always going to be. But if I have a few extra copies of something, and you have someone like Daphne that did a fantastic piece for my that we used for in my book or something, I'm gonna give her something a little extra to say thanks for taking the time to sit down and do this. We've had we've had so many, I think we had over 12 submissions to the Embrace Fan Art contest, and they're incredible. Some of these it's always awesome to see people drawing your character, but some of these things are holy crap,
professional.
I can't believe that you did this.
Yeah. I've been going through liking the artists, and I'm gonna steal them all from you at one point.
It's fair enough. No, these guys deserve it. And so, like, I'm going to try and figure out something nice to do for each of them, especially if they end up backing the campaign.
I steal your artist, and to go back on an old joke, Daphne, then I get to be the new girlfriend.
Yeah.
Look what I got over here. I got your artist, fucker. My milkshake brings all the boys together.
Dean is, I guarantee you that Dean is going to be someone in like the next year, or it's going to be very difficult. Like, I'm going to have to like schedule time for him to do the Embrace, because like his work that he's done, like, and in fact, I can even show you guys.
They don't. What you have to understand is that what we do is when we get too big. Well, I'm too big for you now. I can't speak to you. Randy, a question for you, sir, from Indie Vote Radio.
Sure.
This one's pretty.
Uh-oh.
I know you're gonna tell them exactly what I.
Is it a triggering question?
Oh no.
Let's see.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And this is kind of a tearjerker too. So I'm gonna have a hard time getting through it. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. So, So this is from Melvin, Melvin, Melvin W. Melvin W says, "Hello guys, I've been watching your show for about 5 months now. I am a older gentleman. I just turned 72. Due to an amputation, I had to move in with my son and his wife. I had been up until that point working on making my own comic. I've loved comics for years. Again, I'm 72 years old, so I've loved comics for several decades. My son and his wife discarded all of my art materials and my drawing table because they feel that I should be laying down, resting, and enjoying the rest of the years I have left. It set me back, quite a bit.
Wow.
He doesn't have his art materials now, guys.
That's pretty vicious on his kid's part.
Yeah,
I know another artist that his kids did exactly the same thing to him.
He's very upset about this, and he's wants something, and he's been told by his family that he says, "I've been told that this comic book thing that I have, it's a little old and late in life for me to try to get involved." Anyway, what do you guys think? And he leaves it to that.
I'm heartbroken.
Yeah.
I'm heartbroken.
That's very heartbreaking. Yeah.
That's it.
I'd tell his kids that if they want him to stay sane, that they're gonna replace those art supplies and get a drawing table in there immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Because
and just say, "You want to see a grumpy old man? You take my toys away, God damn it. Get off of my lawn." This is how I stay sane. This is how I stay competent.
I read that Gil Evergreen died with a half-done canvas on his bed.
Yeah.
It's like that. I think like Frazetta was the same way. He had like half-done artwork on his bed. I mean, that you have to tell them that what you do has no age limit. Yeah. And
if you look at like the creative period of Kirby and what he was doing all the way up until he passed, what H.G. Peters is another big example I stumbled across in my research, that he didn't start doing Wonder Woman until he was 61.
Yeah.
So don't let these folks tell you that age is whatever. They want you to spend the rest of your years. Just tell them, you want me to spend the rest of my years being happy? You're going to let me do comics.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, though, it's like, what? It's like there's like, there's no way you can be a millionaire on this now. So there's no. It's like it's called a hobby. Oh my God. Not everything has to be judged by how monetizable it is.
Most good artists and their works aren't recognized until they're gone anyway.
Yeah. So it's like,
so you got to go out there and do. Yeah.
This goes back to the girlfriend that we were talking about before. It's like, should I break up with him? He works too much on his comic and he's getting all eccentric on me.
That's what they call senior abuse. Tell them to stop.
For real.
Stop and replace the shit that they tossed. Bring back your drawing board and smile that grandpa has some fulfillment in his life.
Really? Yeah. It's like either that or just outright tell him, "Can you die already?" I mean, really, because that's
literally what they're telling him.
This is what it, because even like the other guy that I know, that it's like, it's literally what it feels like. It's like, just die already.
Mm-hmm.
That's heartless. That's heartless.
It is.
Need to get the rest of the family in on this too and tell them, look, I'm going to do comics. You're not going to stop me. I'll start drawing on walls. How you like that?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Leave
Oh, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
This is pretty messed up.
Yeah.
It's inexcusable.
Like when you get to old age, it is hard enough, based off of what I've seen from like my dad and everything else. It is hard enough to have your body get to this point. And it's like this guy's just had an amputation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is hard enough to see your body falling apart and feeling like you have no worth, feeling like you can't be of use.
Yeah.
But then you take away from him the one thing that he feels like he can still contribute. For what? So that you think you can give him a paid vacation? Nobody, no, like, I don't care. Like, when you have been around long enough and you have worked long enough, sitting around doing nothing is only fun for like 2 or 3 days, and then you start to get restless.
Yeah.
Do you want that to be him for his last days? Is that how you want him to go down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, didn't we learn anything from the last year about not being able to go out? People are going bonkers.
Yes.
I mean, Varian, why are you making me cry?
Don Celestri says,
sorry.
"What?
I told you guys.
End of the show.
I'm
End of the show. You're gonna
71."
make me cry. Come on.
I think it's rough, and you know what? If we can,
you really need to tell them kids to straighten up.
If we can, and Melvin, if we can contribute to any way to help you out, let us know.
Yes, Melvin, let us know.
You know what? Honestly, if we talked about anything that's offensive today, it's that.
Yeah.
No, 100%. That is.
I'll have your children wondering why there's all these packages of art supplies that suddenly show up at your door, buddy.
Can we get middle finger stickers on the packet, on the stickers, and put them on the
Too.
package?
We'll draw middle fingers. Hey, Melvin's kids.
Yeah. We got our art material for them.
Take this.
Lighter question, or a lighter statement. I'll go to. Guys, listen. We've all seen this on the road. We've all seen the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Yes.
We've all seen it.
Yeah.
It's driven past me before.
On display at the Henry Ford Museum, I might add.
Yes. There's one there, and we all made our perverted jokes about it.
Yes.
Well, now comes the newest mobile. I don't think it's really new, but when I think about it, it's insane. I don't want to be stuck between these two cars. The Planner's Nutmobile.
There we go.
There it is. The Planner's Nutmobile is ready. They're hiring drivers right now.
As long as they're not trying to run me off the road, like one semi decided it was going to try to do when we were we were driving to Florida, I'm good.
And I thought you were going to draw a direct connection to the article that just popped up in Bounding into Comics.
No, I wasn't. Is Planners buying DC?
Huh?
Is Planners buying DC?
No. The Matt Reeves here. I can pull it up here.
Oh, are you talking? I don't think that is true at all. Like literally, it started getting shared around Twitter as a joke, and now Bounding into Comics is reporting on it. I'm like, come on, guys. But this is the whole thing with him and Zoe Kravitz like banging on the Batmobile.
Matt Reeves, the Batman, allegedly in jeopardy after Robert Pattinson's caught having sex on the Batmobile.
Well, what else would you do with it? I mean, which was the more offensive part? That it was on the Batmobile, or again, something about Bat Dick drives everybody crazy?
So apparently,
it's a good thing they didn't accidentally hit the ejector seat button.
This whole thing started because someone leaked out onto Reddit that this had happened and that Zoe Kravitz was allegedly pregnant and that Pattinson has been a complete pain in the ass, and Matt Reeves is even saying that like he won't come back for the next 2 movies. He doesn't even want to do reshoots. Like this whole thing is just this is all bullshit. And as I said, as you said actually, Daphne, people are going fucking crazy from being inside for X amount of time.
Yeah, no,
and so now
really.
we're reporting on rumor as if it is fact.
Yeah,
well,
and that is. Like that's literally what this is. I guarantee you that it's a load of crap. If it ends up being true, I eat my own words.
And
but
if it
ends up being true, then it's like, well done.
Come running up.
Good show, Chuck.
Shit out. What are you doing? What are you doing to the Batmobile? Holy crap.
I know I'm gonna get some hate from this, but he probably did it on purpose. He wanted somebody to get pictures of it because let's not forget when
Patterson's being a complete pest.
Yeah. when his ex was filming Snow White, she got caught with the director in a car. Remember that? Yeah, and we all had cameras in his face. He was going to do something traumatic, and we're like, "How do you feel about your girlfriend having with the director in a car? Look, there's her legs up. Look at that. Look, her ankles quivering. He's giving it to her now. We
footprint.
Yeah. But congratulations, Robert.
All over again.
Yeah, you turned the Batmobile into the Nutmobile, and congratulations. It could have been
That was a long walk for that joke.
That was a Wienermobile.
Indeed.
Combine the two. There we go.
Yeah. Would you make the parachutes look like that? I'll leave it at that. Owen is sharing his screen. He wants us to see.
So
I know David.
As I had mentioned, Dean is going to be getting I guarantee you after the Embrace, the Dean is going to be getting a lot of contacts to show up and do art all over the place, and you just see this page, it's just so filled with raw emotion and everything. Really excited to get this book out there, and we are 3 signups away from hitting 200. So if you haven't already, if you haven't already signed up for the mailing list, be sure that you guys do that. And I do a newsletter every Saturday. So you guys get behind the scenes stuff by just being on the mailing list, and you get the beautiful Jim O'Reilly Sigmund-Torre pinup, which I'm sure everyone has seen at this point. If they haven't, I can also pull that one up. Because yeah.
Batman damned again. That's funny.
Yeah, no shit.
We know.
I saw that.
It's good job, Pattinson. Good job.
Good show.
Yeah. Quickly, Robin. Don't look over here. I'm handling business.
Take a look that way. But so you get this pinup for free if you sign up for the Embrace.
Oh, very nice.
Cool.
So this will be coming free with your purchase, and so so come check us out. Help us hit 200, and we launch March 1st.
Very cool. I like that. I like that image too, and you got some really good work going on. I've said it before. I think that this is going to end up being your book that you're going to have to focus on, because people are going to want so much of it, and that's another thing too. I think that, we as independent creators, I've had some people tell me, my dream is to put out a book monthly. It's that's great, but where?
It's how do you plan on doing that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, unless you're making
Kickstarter. Kickstarter doesn't even allow you to do a monthly campaign. So
yeah, you'd have to. And you know what? And I'm gonna say something else too. And I know I'm gonna have some publishers in my email box or in my inbox. We at Last Call started a subscription service. Said, hey, for every book I put out for the next 2 years, you pay this amount, you'll get them in the mail. You know how many signups I got for that? 0.
But how many books have you done the last 2 years?
Well, no, at that point, last 2 years, 3.
Okay.
3. And it was only $10. So you actually would have saved.
Yeah.
And if I would have put out 5 books, you would have got them all. It was really, So I've seen some other people jump and do the same thing. Hey, we're gonna do, you pay whatever books you put out, you're gonna get much more than $10 though. And trust me, when I told people it was gonna be $10, my wife, she did not like that. She was like, "You're doing what?" So it wasn't an easy conversation to have. But
for floppies, I guess it's okay. If you're putting out trades, sure.
No. It was just our floppies. It was just the single issue floppies. And she was like, "You can." I had 0 signups for that, 0. So I'm seeing that, and I think that the subscription model for comics, even selling the BuZz box from Indiegogo, is horrible. It's not as, because we take a bunch of issue number 1s or a bunch of things and put them in this BuZz box and send them out to people to say, hey, do you like this content? Consider the artist's next campaign, or buy the creator's next campaign, buy something from them, and that works, but it's very slow. And I've seen other companies jump with their own subscription service. Hey, $20 a year gets you every, or $30, $40, whatever it may be.
Did you get a bunch of those? Sorry to cut in. Did you get a bunch of those BuZz boxes?
I got a. You mean empty boxes? Or did I get a bunch of orders?
Get a bunch of pallets?
Yeah, I got like 6 boxes.
Just 6?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was going to say, if you ended up picking up a couple hundred, we could probably retool that towards the end of the year.
Well, not 6 boxes. I mean 6 boxes of boxes. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, and we could probably retool that towards the end of the year. Just stick a sticker on it.
So I don't know. I think
on the box.
that subscription, the subscriptions for indies. The reason why I don't think that, unless you are an established publisher with a back catalog, it's like it's kind of hard for people, I guess, like to trust an indie publisher to give them their money's worth over the year. Especially since that it's like, it's like, look, it's like I've been working on this issue 6 for like what felt like since last summer. So because I'm in the end, it's like I know I can do it faster, but I just don't work on it in enough chunks to get it done faster. So I think that's kind of what it is, that it's like, oh, why should I pay for a year when I'll be lucky if I get 1 issue?
Yeah.
That's a reality of being self-published, and being a one-man band pretty much.
I will agree. I'm sorry. I just seen I was sent a story on Twitter that is amazing. I'm sorry.
A story?
Yeah, I was sent a story on Twitter.
Wait, what happened?
Remember, everybody, we're TVMA DLSV.
If there was a way I didn't need to be on Twitter, I wouldn't really.
Yeah, I just got sent the story on Twitter. It's
not get into porn here.
No, it's not. It's actually good for her. Good for her. She's dominating. We don't cover sports. At all. But I will mention that I'm very proud of this young lady here for dominating her
chosen profession.
Yeah, her chosen profession. She is dominating the basketball court. Gabriel Ludwig. She's playing college basketball. She's dominating 30 years after playing before. She's back now. She's playing. She's dominating. And there's Gabriel sitting there with her teammates. And she is dominating the court. Very good. Very good, Gabriel. Very good. Sorry, I had to bring that up because she's dominating. She's hitting threes, dunking. It is awesome. I love it. Good for her. Also, I got another thing from Liberty. Not from Liberty. Whoa, actually, it was in the Liberty and it was in the Indie Vault messages, and I think it's because of the press release. But there is, because someone wants to get in touch with me really badly, there is a grift out there, guys.
Of course.
A grift that you might want to know about. Be very, very careful, because apparently there are a group of people who are sitting out and they make sure that your campaign is launched on whatever service it is. You got a campaign on Kickstarter? It's there. You got a Kickstarter campaign on Indiegogo, and it's there. It's fine. Well, here it is. They go to the competitor and launch your campaign.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yep. So, yeah. They go to your competitor. So you're on Kickstarter.
Michael was telling us about that. Was shows ago.
Are you guys talking about the whole Shadow of the Kraken with Vinny Tartamella?
Yeah,
because that's literally what happened.
That sounds like an actual scam.
Yeah, it's much bigger than that. It's been happening more and more. So you decide to launch on Kickstarter, there is a group of people who are going around. They will take every graphic, redesign it somewhat, and put it on Indiegogo if you're on Kickstarter, and vice versa. They go to the campaign site you're not on and launch. And it is a thing they are doing now. Apparently, Indiegogo is very aware of this, and they are
good.
Trying to cut it down, because the problem with Indiegogo and why they're worried about it is because they take money right away.
Yeah,
Kickstarter's like,
Right. And that was the whole thing, was that, and that's why I had brought it up on the last thing. Is the reason why I am not using Kickstarter again, is because Kickstarter ignored Vinny for almost
ridiculous.
2 weeks, and he had to bring in law enforcement in order for it to be dealt with. Because it wasn't even just that they had ripped off his campaign. The guy was claiming to be Vinny Tartamella and was using his bio from Indiegogo on Kickstarter. It was identity theft.
Wow. Yeah.
So the fact that Kickstarter didn't do anything about that immediately, it's a downward spiral, and we've joked about stuff in the past because there were people launching Kickstarters with mainstream IPs and making comics of like Star Wars with Obi-Wan Kenobi on the cover, making comics of Batman, making comics of this, that, or the other, and we had all joked about it. It was like, oh, these guys should be shut down, and whenever any of us would try and bring it to their attention, it's not in violation of our terms of service. And then when was the line? And the line was made, and it was crossed when an independent creator had his IP stolen and put on this platform, and Kickstarter blew him off, and any other person that reported it was told, this is not in violation of our terms and service. Right. And so until that gets resolved, Kickstarter can kick rocks. And frankly, I don't know if I'll be back even if they resolve it, because the fact that they've let it get to this point is egregious.
And I mean, the fact that you have a little group out there that's doing this, it's like, well, to what end, guys? Why are you doing this? I mean, are you hoping that you can collect on someone's campaign?
Well, again,
that would be the thing. It's like, because what it is that they collect and then they disappear and they move on to the next. It's not like they're going to reuse the same campaign.
No.
And again, you got people on Kickstarter that are salting people's campaigns too.
And that's the other big thing that I don't like about Kickstarter, is the fact that you do not, like with Indiegogo, there is an immediate consequence. You back, the money comes out of your account. As a result, you have far fewer people refunding their contributions, refunding what they have done, because there is already cause and effect. You made a conscious decision as a consumer to back this project, and that as a response, you had the money taken out of your account. It's there, it's done. Kickstarter, there is no direct consequence until the campaign is over. And so you have plenty of time to be like, oh yeah, I'll back this now, and then if I don't feel like it the day that it's about to close, I can just
Yep. I've made that decision. I've seen campaigns that I really like. It's on Kickstarter, and I'm like, oh man, it's Kickstarter. It closes in how many days? Well, I don't want to do it now because I don't want to, back it. And then, and the tier I want is, $30, $40, and then I back it, and then I'm sitting in the store one day, and I looked, and I noticed that $40 came out of my account. I'd rather do it right then and there. Know the money's gone and spent, and it's out there. It just for me, the way I shop, I just want to know that it's
100%, and I think that's a big thing. But again, the bigger problem is that you have people where there's no direct consequence immediately, and so like everything else with the internet, with it being this anonymous playground, they're like, oh well, I can support this and then screw them over if I want to. I can support this and try and freaking hijack their platform to promote my good, because that's what happened to me. I had 10 people that backed the Elysian Fields Deluxe Edition, that their whole thing was, hey, can you promote my toaster? Can you promote this for me?
Because the thing that I hate about because I don't have any experience with Indiegogo yet, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, where it's like the second you launch, those creepers come out of the woodwork.
You don't have that on Indiegogo.
Really? Okay, because I
have not got a single person back on Indiegogo and then message me, hey, can you promote my product?
No, I'm talking about like people who come separately, where it's like, oh, I'm from so and so company and we promote promote campaigns. And
that's what I'm saying. I have not had a single instance of that. Because again, like there is an immediate consequence. Right. These people are doing that because it costs them nothing. Right. Uh-huh. They're like, oh, well, I can technically support these guys for like $10, $15.
Yeah.
And then if they promote my stuff, I'll keep it. I'll keep it there. But if they decide that they don't want to do that, then I'll remove it.
No,
and so that's the whole thing, is that on Indiegogo there's an immediate consequence, and if you want a refund, you have to include a reason why.
Wow,
you can't just be like, well, you didn't promote my stuff, so I'm refunding. It's like, hey, like, you know, and I've had to do this a few times where, like, I thought that when I was doing my budgeting, I thought that I had the money to do something, and I didn't. So I refunded it, and then 2 weeks later, when I was good to go for it, I went and I rebacked.
Yeah,
but
I like that. I like the fact that the money's gone immediately, and I know how much I'm dealing with. I've never refunded. I found myself in the red, and I had to fix it on on a Kickstarter campaign before. I had to run up there and say, "Oh, here's my name, here's my address," or "Oh, I got to fix the payment. I'm sorry, I didn't go through. Let me fix that." Because they give you like what, 5 days, 7 days, something like that.
7 days. I think it's 7 days from when the campaign ends.
So I've never had a campaign fall through. I think one did fall through, but it was a friend of mine. He lives around the corner, and I called him and said, "Dude," because I accidentally have two Kickstarter profiles. I have one that's attached to my email, another that's attached to my Facebook. And so when I sign in, it automatically posts with a Facebook account. And I forgot that his was on this email account. Yeah. So
this comment that's here, I don't mean to interrupt you, Varian, but this comment that's on here is something that I want to talk about, because this is something that was done when somebody else was promoting the Embrace. Another creator tried to bring this up to, I feel, dissuade somebody from signing up for my book.
Well,
and this is my whole thing.
Let me read it so the radio listeners know what question you're talking about, because they don't see it. It says, from the desk of a small press publisher, I don't like Indiegogo for that same reason. Been burned too much on people who don't deliver their products. Again, flex funding is a problem when people don't fulfill. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is my whole thing. All right. At the end of the day, Indiegogo and Kickstarters are platforms where creators get to put out their product and what have you. At the end of the day, it is not the responsibility of Indiegogo or Kickstarter to fulfill your fucking product.
Right, yeah, exactly.
We are fucking adults. We went out there and we asked for people to put their confidence in us and back our projects. We're fucking adults. If you got that money and you didn't fulfill on your campaign, that is your responsibility, not Indiegogo's, not Kickstarter's.
Yeah,
100%. Now, it sucks that there are people that have backed on Indiegogo, backed on Kickstarter, that haven't gotten their books. It's tragic. But at the end of the day, all you can do from a consumer standpoint is don't back them again. That's how you freaking do that. All right? Indiegogo, Kickstarter, it doesn't freaking matter. The fact that somebody tried to use that argument to effectively try and dissuade somebody from signing up on my campaign, when I have fulfilled every goddamn book I've put out there. I fulfilled the 0 issue 3 months ahead of schedule. I am fulfilling Pyramid Gambit. My extras are arriving this week. So the moment that I get those, they're going in with these packages, I'm packing them up, and I'm starting to ship them out. Because I'm a responsible freaking adult, and people paid me good money to get a goddamn product.
Well,
that has nothing to do with the platform and everything to do with the creator, and this shit needs to stop. From this whole, I don't do Indiegogo because of this. Fuck it. If it's indie, it's indie.
Right, exactly. You have to look at the history of the person. You know, if they're fulfilled everything, it doesn't matter which platform it's on. They're obviously fulfilling.
What are you gonna say, Randy?
I was going to say, Joe, that that shouldn't keep you from using Indiegogo, because Kickstarter's just as bad, because when the campaign closes, the money goes to the person, whether they fulfill or not. That's up to them.
Yeah.
These personal people. I don't know why that's keeping you from Indiegogo.
It's ludicrous.
I'll say this, what I keep discovering, and I know everyone's experience is different, but what I keep having happen to me is that campaigns from Kickstarter tend to arrive a little bit later than I would like. So like way outside of their window. I got a book that's
I call them kickstartled. It's when it takes so long. You forgot you pledged, and then they show up in the mail, and you forget. You don't even know what you have.
Yeah, because like I have informed delivery, and I'm like, "What's coming? What is this?" And I open, I'm like, "I backed this 2 years ago."
Yeah.
There's a campaign that I backed. I was guilted into backing, and I won't back again. Not because of how long it's even taken. It's just because of the individuals involved. But I backed it, and it's never. It's not the individuals involved because of what they've done to me personally, not because of how they voted or anything like that. It's what they've done to me personally.
Wow.
But
actions
yeah. But the thing is, it's that I feel like, there's this idea, oh, I got your money later. I'll see you. I'll see you. Cause like, I know the book's at the printer in November.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I should see this book in January then, right? Cool. I mean, because you didn't make that many of them. You're not rolling in dough here. And now we got 10 more days left in February. And I still don't have the book. There's still no in fact, I think somebody's gonna have to rattle Kickstarter's chain and say, hey, talk to them. Because
well, you see, but that's the thing, though. It's like it's like what Michael said. It's like it's not Kickstarter's responsibility to fulfill. So there's nothing for them to say.
Right.
Although honestly, they should be banning people who do this regularly. That's what they should be doing.
100%. And but that's the other thing is that every single one of these sites comes with a disclaimer. What is the disclaimer that says when you back this project? Backing a project is not the same as backing this project is not the same as purchasing a product. You are choosing to show your support. They have that built in there so that they can have like, hey,
it says right there.
It says right there. This is the understanding that you have is that you took a chance on this. It's not our job to make sure that it gets to you. It's theirs. And again, that's where it comes into where it's.
Yeah, I think that there were two really extreme cases where like a state attorney general had to get involved. But even then, it wasn't against Kickstarter. It was against the actual creator. But that we're talking about like a really extreme situation, like a lot of money.
Joe, what you're saying doesn't make sense to me.
No, not at all. I
gotta read the comments on the radio. Listen, we have radio,
and yet you just Joe said from the desk of a small press publisher says, and yet you just bashed Kickstarter for their policies. If I don't like how one platform handles a certain aspect, that is your choice.
That is not equivalent.
It is,
because what I bashed was that Kickstarter didn't protect the IP of an independent creator. An independent creator like us who works his ass off to get his books out to people, to make a good product, and Kickstarter ignored him. That is different. You saying I'm not going to back Indiegogo because 3 of the campaigns that I backed didn't get to me is you are holding a platform responsible for the lack of integrity of a single individual. You are not holding the platform responsible for their lack of integrity and their lack of ethics in defending the property of people like us who work our asses off every day.
Just in context, what you're saying is that the Indiegogo problems, him not receiving his books, that's on the creators and the people who use that platform.
Yes.
The problem with Kickstarter is that when someone said, hey, something's being done, it's illegal here, the company didn't act on behalf of the creators. I see. So they're not protecting creators.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're saying, oh, we're just a platform. It's
could you imagine the systematic breakdown though, guys? Because I love to look at problems. I love to create problems where there are none.
It's like on that Star Wars property when I think Rob or whoever complained to Kickstarter, they said it's not your problem, it's not our problem. Yeah. We have to wait until the copyright holder actually files a complaint. Mm-hmm. Well, in this case, the copyright holder filed a complaint and still nothing was done.
Right, because he wasn't big enough.
That's another. I mean, that's a whole separate issue for me because that's something that I wish that these platforms would not allow is like fan art type of products on there because it's like it's like we were talking about like our books really competition, but it's like what, I don't want to be competing against someone doing a friggin' Star Wars fan book.
Well, the sad thing is when they get somebody in there whose job that's supposed to be, where they're supposed to watch that product, they turn into a gatekeeper, and they decide to let somebody's politics in and somebody else's politics not.
And then it's like, and then
all
of a sudden you guys are a publisher, right?
Now,
last question. Showing editorial control.
Last question we had to get around to because we actually ran over. But last question I want to get to was I seen a post and it was about I have no idea who the individual was, but until recently. Let me ask you this: how do you guys feel? Because apparently there are people who feel either way about it. I want to have my panel here.
There's always somebody who feels a way.
How do you guys feel about a creator's name being on the project? Now, what I'm talking about is the credits. So we've all seen comics where I'm gonna bring up. Let's reach over, grab a comic. I'm gonna bring up this one where they got down here. They got a list of creators. Now we're talking about on a comic, so maybe you could say it could be on a single issue, but I've seen it a lot. Now there are people that I guess it's coming across as egotistical. It's coming across as like, why is your name there? You can't sell comics. Your name doesn't sell comics. Why do you have the balls to have your name up there? Now here's the thing. I feel like I don't have a very striking name.
You're gonna make Pat Koala feel like he's being singled out here.
Well, Pat Koala has a good. If I put Koala on a comic, I'm gonna know who the hell that is. Because as far as I know, there's only one koala in comics. Say that 3 times fast. But if I say anything of Odin, if I put Odin on a comic, I know who the hell I'm talking about. Zimmerman, there's a 3-to-1 shot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
With Lage, I don't know any other Lages in comics. But with Grant, who the hell is Grant? Which one? Morrison? But he's not gonna put his first name up there. He's gonna put Morrison.
Yeah, but I don't put my name on. I mean, I have a credits on the inside, but I don't put names on the cover either.
My mother has a bad habit.
You don't want to put it on your latest one anyway,
right? I mean, it's like
because they'll read it as Daphne Lage's ego.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, which is accurate, but right. But I just don't want to clutter up the cover with all that. That's what the credits page is.
Well, to be fair, like I thought that's what they meant. I thought they meant like putting Varian Grant's Earth 2 Society up there for copyright reasons. That's what I thought. But no, they meant like this stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't do that because it's like I think it clutters up the cover.
Well, the argument that was made was, well, where does that end? Because you got your penciler up there, and you got your inker or your penciler.
Right, but exactly. But that's the thing. It's like if you keep it's like, okay, nobody gets on the cover.
Yeah, right. And that's
you're all on the credits page.
Nobody gets up there, or everybody gets up there. Everybody gets up there.
No, and that just looks ridiculous.
To talk about their product. So the inker has to go up there, the editor, the proof guy, the color girl, everybody.
Right? The colorist, the flatter. I mean, that was just something that I saw recently where it's like, oh, how come the flatter never gets credited? And it's like the credits page, put it all on the credits page, save everybody trouble. It's like because to tell you the truth, it's like, not to be facetious. I mean, I actually do appreciate seeing who worked on the book. So who did what? So it's like, because especially for us as a small press, it's like, okay, well, I like the way this person colored, or actually I like the way the color choice is done on the flats. Let me contact this person to see if I can get them for me, type of thing. So I want to know, so, but credits page, I don't know why everyone wants to be on the cover though. It's like, I think the artwork.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting apology letters right now. From a company called Bestie, who keeps trying to copyright and take over our
good for you.
Our Tuesday. They keep trying to get our Tuesday morning. They're
trying to claim copyright on Backdick, aren't they?
I believe so. Right.
Every time we run your clip, something about stop sucking that they want to copyright.
Yeah, they're like, that's a good idea. You know what it was? I think, honestly, Randy, I don't know if it was like every time they would do, it was every time like you would talk. I don't know if your voice is hitting a certain algorithm or something they were looking for, but it was mainly when you would talk, they would jump in there or me and you were having a discussion, like if you stopped talking and I started, because I looked at the clips they were talking about, the sections of what was offensive, and it was always me and you. And it's like, and they're a Vietnamese company, so I'm wondering if if our voices somehow combined sounds like a Vietnamese like song, and they like, hey, we know that song, we're gonna copyright it,
Wow.
What's our numbers?
Right now we are at 62 way over and climbing still. Joe D. McPhee had asked me for a link so he can come in and explain himself for his behavior in our chat. No, he does. I sent him a link, so he has a couple minutes to hop in here because we do have to go. I know everybody has to have things they have to do. If you guys have to step out, feel free to go ahead. Pat Koala says, last names for writing artists are pretty traditional on the cover. Colors and letters less traditional, but it happens fairly often. Put them all on the back cover, says Pops Van Zandt.
Put them all on the back cover.
Yeah. And Pat says, really depends on the look and feel of the cover. If names should be there, anthologies, not so much, because that will be insane.
Yeah, that's a lot of names.
But at the end of the day, too, it's your product. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to do to make sure that product is, how you want it.
Yeah.
It's not about an egotistical thing. I think it is because if I could put Grant on there, it just, who the hell is Grant? Now I have one of those. I forgot the term I used to use, but Grant could be anybody. Variant Grant. There's only one asshole with that name, and you know where to find him at. Joe D. McPhee.
Joe.
Yeah. Joe, explain yourself. I gotta step out, but go ahead, explain yourself.
Okay. First and foremost, both platforms you have to treat pretty much like an escrow account. Pretty much, they're just the middleman. They hold
100%. That's what I said.
They hold the money. They hold the money, and that's pretty much it. What we're discussing here is policy. How Kickstarter handled their policy versus fraud versus Indiegogo. And what I was getting at is like, you came at this more on a personal level as far as your campaign. I'm looking at it from a policy standpoint, knowing that I had other creator friends that were on Indiegogo that had the same type of problems and ran into different aspects of that fraud portion here. And that's like, it's the same across the board. You can't really dictate to say this one is more feasible than the other. You might not like what happened at Kickstarter, and you won't go back to Kickstarter. It's like, that's your personal choice based upon what you're looking at as far as their policies are concerned. But you cannot just say to somebody else who had problems on Indiegogo, it's like, hey, you can't just not say that because I didn't do this to my campaign. It's like, no, it's not about backing their campaigns. I had artist friends who had campaigns that was forced to refund money because Indiegogo thought it was fraud because they couldn't deposit money into the bank account, and then the next campaign later, the same bank account, they was able to deposit money perfectly fine.
Well, that sounds
and
like
they couldn't do nothing. They couldn't do nothing. Indiegogo wouldn't work with their bank, which was happened to be Bank of America. They couldn't do anything along the lines to help that creator.
And that
sounds like a glitch in their software for banking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like
somebody stealing their identity.
But they came at the creator saying that, hey, you might want to take a look at this because we're getting indication that you gave us a fraudulent bank account, and then they got really upset about that.
Well, all you got to do is transpose a number.
Yeah,
I understand that. Trust me.
It's very different than the fact that, like, and we had talked a little bit about it earlier.
It's different than copyright infringement. Don't get me wrong, but policy is still policy.
No, policy is still policy, and I recognize that neither platform is perfect. But where I am drawing the line is, you have these groups of people, we were talking about it earlier, where they are copying people's campaigns and putting it on the competitor's platform. Indiegogo is handling that in a way that it should, especially considering that the money is taken out immediately. So they are doing everything that they can to get it dealt with expeditiously. Kickstarter did nothing for 2 weeks, blew off several people. I know, I was one of them. I sent messages. Like 10, at least a dozen of us sent messages to Kickstarter saying, hey, this is very clearly not this person. And we were all told, sorry, bud, this isn't in violation of our policy. So, and then Vinny had to go to the Federal Trade Commission to enforce his copyright because they blew him off when he initially messaged him. They never responded. And that's what I have an issue with.
Well, it wasn't copyright. It was more identity theft because Federal Trade Commission deals with that as well.
He had brought up his initial thing was, I own this intellectual property. I did not create this campaign. Like this needs to be taken down, and they ignored him. So it took him going to the Federal Trade Commission to enforce his copyright
claim to get that taken care of, which is messed up because according to Kickstarter policy,
that should never have happened.
Anything that they look at, they should be taking a better standpoint of all campaigns.
That was the other thing is
since they've been going through all of this reorganization, they have not been on the ball at all. That's something that not a lot of people knew about.
And that was my whole thing.
They had a decrease in staff, so people are learning the automated system to get around all of this stuff. But that's something that was never brought out in your explanation.
To a certain extent, I agree. But like the whole thing is that all it would have taken is one person to look at this thing. The guy that was running it was from the Ukraine, and he was raising funds in English pound sterling. This is you could not have had a more fraudulent freaking thing put in front of you. And yes, there are issues with that, and they did lay off a whole bunch of their staff that had been previously dedicated towards that screening process. But those people had also abused that. They were not letting people they were not letting people put campaigns on there because they didn't fit into their freaking clique. So at the end of the day, that's where I draw the line, is that at the end of the day, we are all independent creators, every single one of us, and we work very hard to do what we do. And if you have a platform that so blatantly doesn't protect that, or when they do quote unquote protect it, they're selective about who they're so selective about who they want that it gets to abject pettiness. I'm not doing my business with them.
And that's your choice. And
that's correct. And I understand that.
And I say don't use them. But at the same time, you cannot come after anybody else who don't want to use Indiegogo.
My problem with the whole thing with Indiegogo isn't the fact that they have issues. If they don't like the way that platform is set up, that's fine. But if you were trying to hold the platform responsible for somebody taking the money and running, there are people that do that shit on Kickstarter all the time too. And so that is bullshit. And so it should all be a part of.
Was what I was agreeing with you.
Yeah,
but I also was trying to make you aware that there are other policies on Indiegogo.
No, 100%, and I know that there's a lot of issues with their banking side of things because that's one of the big things. I know that there have been a lot of people. A buddy of mine, Sean Keenan, tried to back Pyramid Gambit, tried to back it several times, and used a card that had worked on other campaigns that he had backed, and for whatever reason, Indiegogo wouldn't let him do it. I know that there are issues with the platform.
I should mention that we do have to get out of here, but here's the thing. Indiegogo scared the shit out of me once. I was waiting for the cops because they need to go in and fix their algorithm because I had a card that I forgot it was expired, but it was still in my list of cards. Well, I clicked to use it and it said, this card has been listed as stolen.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, it's my card. And I realized, and I reached out. He said, oh no, that's automatic in our system. If a card expires, it's listed as stolen.
Oh, good grief.
And I'm like, oh Jesus.
Can you just say it's expired? I mean, why do they have to be so dramatic about it?
Expired is way different from stolen.
Yes, exactly.
Stolen is the boys are on the way.
Yeah.
The alphabet boys are on their way. You are going to jail. We will see you very soon. Don't drop the soap.
No, and I know that the platform isn't perfect. It's just what it came down to for me is there is an ethical responsibility for me to make sure that I am going on a platform that will protect the intellectual property of other people like myself. And what Kickstarter demonstrated with Vinny Tartamella is the focal is just the punctuation point of a problem that we've been seeing over months with these fan art projects like Darth Krell, like that, and that's where I was like, okay, the line has been drawn, and I'm not going over.
Hey,
and,
I backed Darth Krell. There's another one thing was gonna.
Yeah, you backed Darth Krell as a joke.
Yeah,
everyone that backed Darth Krell did it as a joke.
Yeah,
okay, because they wanted to see the book get funded, and then Disney slammed them with the mouse.
But to further your point here, that was a known issue with Kickstarter for a long period of time. And yes, I know that they're slowful, but that was overly egregious considering the time frame that it took for them to deal with.
And that's my issue. If Kickstarter had been like, oh, it was a weekend, we didn't have any staff, we're really sorry that this took us so long. No, it took them 2 weeks, and they ignored blatantly. Like, Vinny didn't even get an automated message. He got nothing. He got nothing from them for 2 weeks. And that's where it's like, I'm getting an automated message. This guy's getting an automated message. Everybody else is getting an automated screw off. This isn't in violation of our policy letter. Vinny got nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good segue into Indie Vote crowdfund coming very soon to a platform near you. I'm just joking.
As if you don't have enough work to do.
If you do it, do it. If you do it, do it. That's all I gotta say.
And no, I will never get involved in crowdfunding. Listen, record this clip. I will never have a crowdfunding company. Not saying I won't get in position to buy one of the ones that are already up. They already built. But I personally will not build them from the ground up because of you people.
That's only if they accept your bid for DC Publishing.
They're going to accept my bid. I put my bid down, for DC Publishing. We'll see how it happens. Listen. When I own your Batman,
there's going to be Batman everywhere.
Back. Don't tug on Superman's cape. It's going to be back to. I'm rolling everything back. The last 20 years didn't happen. Except for certain selective little things may have happened, but I'm gonna fix things. Don't worry. We're gonna get out of this whole continuity crap. It's gonna be great. When I take over, guys. Where can you be found at? We'll start with you, Joe. Where can you be found at online?
All right. Well, before I do that, I just want to clarify one other thing. I do back projects on Indiegogo, so I don't want people to think, I don't back on Indiegogo.
I know, Joe. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I set off on that because it was something where another creator was dissuading. So that was.
Oh, I took offense to that, Michael. I really did when you came at me like that. I was like, he doesn't understand. No, I was like. I do back on Indiegogo. I was like, no, but there are policies that are there on Indiegogo that kept.
Joe, we can talk about this in the green room. Let's roll out.
All right.
Where can they find you, Joe?
You can find me at cgcstudios.com. You could buy our books there. You could buy them from Comixology. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram up under CGC Studios or Silvolt, SILVOLT. And we do have another episode of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher coming up on Saturday.
Very good, very good. Michael Olden, where can they find you at, sir?
You can find me on Twitter at ElysianFields_0. You can find the Nine Realms Publishing Facebook page on Facebook. Make sure you hit that, give it a like. The Embrace is currently doing its mailing list right now. Get in on that. We are 3 signups away. I repeat, 3 signups away from 200 signups. We're super excited to get this book out to you guys. And signing up for that mailing list also puts you in our Embrace newsletter, where you get exclusive sneak peeks every Saturday. This Saturday, it'll be a day late because we're getting some special stuff in that I want to make sure you guys get to see first. So it should be sent out Sunday. But yeah, sign up. We love to have you there. Elysian Fields Pyramid Gambit is in the process of fulfilling right now. I'm hoping to start getting books out this upcoming week. Thank you guys so much for having me.
By the way, before Michael, how cold is in Odin's house? or is it?
So it's honestly not that cold. I just woke I woke up. I got off work really late last night, and so when I woke up, I had worn like a long sleeve shirt to bed, and so I was freezing when I woke up, and so now I'm in a jacket.
Yeah,
So
right from bed, right to the camera, ladies and gentlemen.
Dedication.
I just grabbed a cup of coffee and I hit them up and I was like, I got my coffee. I'm ready to go. Let's roll.
Miss Lage, where can you be found at?
Well, you can find me at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can read the first 5 issues of Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, for free. All my social media and gallery links are also there, including the infamous House of Bob on Fur Affinity. And if you prefer your fantasy adventure to be more running, jumping, skipping, climbing Mount Doom type, we also have a link to Tall Tales at Tales, TAILS online.com, where you can read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free.
Also, we invite everyone to check out Columns of Creation over on Indiegogo. Sign up for that mailing list. It's a fantastic project. We looked at it earlier today. Check that out. If you sign up, you get an exclusive villain trading card. The art on this project looks fantastic. You want to add this to your library. And Randy,
we'll have Alejandro on again real soon.
Oh yeah, Alejandro.
I need to announce my brand new project coming out from DC very shortly. I'm just stoked about this. I've signed contracts. Everything's good to go. It's the new Infinity Crisis Frontier, the 52 rebirth. Coming soon. No, not really.
I was about to say, I was like, Randy, please don't announce that you're involved in Infinite Frontier. We're gonna have some serious conversation.
Everything starts with the angel and the ape, and it builds up from there.
Okay,
it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Angel and the ape. Wow.
Oof.
You can find me on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on Twitter under Randy Zim. Please look for me on Facebook under Arrow Comics 4.0. That's the company group page. We're building up arrowcomics.com again right now. There's just a small history there and a tribute memorial to Ralph, which will stay up for now, but a new marketplace is coming. More information is coming up on that page shortly. Other than that, you can find me back here on Sunday morning for the Sunday Funnies program at 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll be back again Tuesday nights for the Livewire program at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be back again for the Breakfast Buzz at 9 a.m. on Thursday. Did I cover everything? I think I did.
I think it did.
I'm most excited about that DC project.
I hate you, Randy.
We're doing the Metal Women. Really good.
Gosh, no. Everybody, I'm Varian Grant. Find me on Twitter at KYD_V. Varian Grant on all the other social media networks. Last Call Comics, check that out. Go ahead and check out Terraform Comics. It's going to send you over to the campaign. The Kickstarter is launching right now for Enter the Continuum. Check that out. Also, Indie Vote TV, which is our Roku. If you got a Roku channel, if you got a Roku TV or Roku enabled app on any of your devices, you can check that out. It is completely free. Lots of independent movies and content up there for your viewing enjoyment. Also, if you want to join the 410 people listening today, Indie Vote Radio on Google Play or on iOS, the streamer app, you can listen to us there. Independent music and shows such as this, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Can't get enough of that loving. As well as if you want to send your questions in, Indie Vote Live at indievote.com. Please include Indie Vote Live in the subject and keep those emails to 90 words or less so that I can put them on a nice little card and we can make fun of them. Remember, our feedback
will be better because of your setback.
That's right.
Hashtag get an education. Hashtag Indie Vote.
That's right. We'll see everybody back here soon. We got to get out of here. But thanks for listening.
Looking for writers for the Doom Loser Squad. It's going to be awesome.
The Doom Loser Squad? I'll join you.
Well, hit me up when you do Challengers of the Known.
Challengers of the Strange Adventures.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Are you?
See, I got him. DC, call me. We can do this. Great. We'll make money.
Well, I mean that sounds good. Are you gonna do Super Lobo?
Hawk and the Creeper. It'll be good. What? Super Lobo. We'll do it all on newsprint. It'll be awesome. You'll love it, Barry.
Well, I mean, can we do? I was wondering, can we do like The Suicide League. Can I write that?
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Good.
No,
Good.
only it's got to be the Suicide League Patrol.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Or the Titan, the Titan Suicide League Patrol.
We'll talk about that. We're giving DC ammo. We're giving DC ammo for years. We'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you. Have a good day, everyone.
See you later,
everybody.